Okay, hello people. Well, I don't think anybody's actually on and watching me, but whatever, that's a thing. So, I'm gonna be making a new character in Neverwinter. Let me see here. Hold on a minute. Let's close this out. And I was running this, but I'm trying to. Okay, let's see here. I don't even know, man. I just feel old. Okay, this is not options. Trying to work it out so I can see the chat. Oh, the chat's in the middle of the fucking screen. That's why I don't see it. Those are not my children. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, let's see. Control. Move this to this side. There we go. That seemed to work. Okay, let's see now. What's the other thing? I'm just trying to guess. I should have done this before, but I'm an idiot. Okay. Just making sure this is okay. Okay. Let's turn that off. We're gonna make a new character tonight. Um, because there's an event on and they got a lot of dungeons, and I'm gonna make a wood elf. I haven't made one yet. Oh no, no, no. Okay. Nice. I'm gonna make a ranger. I haven't made one. Actually, I started to make one yesterday and I turned it off. I deleted it because I realized I wanted to share that, so. Okay, she's gonna be a ranger. What else do we have? The warlock, I have one. I did the Oathbound Paladin. I didn't really like it that much. I do have a great weapon fighter. I don't have a guardian fighter. What's that? See, I don't see how that's that different from Something's Coming Soon. I do not know. I have a devoted cleric. She's my main and I love her to death. Okay, continue. Wisdom is common sense, perception, risk. I don't care about that shit. Okay. I like the intelligence though. Okay, fine. You know what? Oh wait, this is automatically chosen dexterity. I okay, I'll go with it. Whatever. Okay, let's find a cute face. I like that face, kind of. No. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Okay, that's that. Hair. Okay. No, that's the hair I have for the other character. I think I had a bun. Yeah, her hair's kind of shaggy. Let's see. Yeah. No. I think that's the one I have for the other character. Oh no, she looks kind of old lady there. I don't like a lot of the braided styles because they just it's like shitty graphics. I don't know which one I have for Kala now. God damn it. Oh, that's just horrible. I kind of like this, but you can see it's like cut here. It just looks ridiculous. Wow, these hairstyles are shit. It looks like they hired some of the Sims resource guys from like Sims 2 to do this shit. I need help. I don't know what I want to do. You know what? No, that's the old lady look I said I didn't like. Where's the other friggin' one? Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. And we're gonna change the color up a little bit. I want it brighter. Is that red enough? It's not really light though. See, the color doesn't look like it's changing no matter what I pick. Oh, that's why. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, see, that's more the color I had before. God damn it. I know, I'm gonna take forever with this thing and annoy the fuck out of people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Kala's hair. Oh, that's horrible. Let's, yeah, no, I don't really, I like the front, I just don't like the back on that one. And I don't like that it made it really dark. That's ugly. Okay, these are all short haircuts. Ew. No. Ew. Honestly, they need more hairstyles for this shit. Okay, no. Yeah, I'll just go with this then. Nah, it looks messy. Fuck. That looks stupid. Fine, I'll go... I don't know, man. What would you pick? Alright, I'll go with this. Fuck it, whatever. Oh, eyes. Color. Gonna make them green since... Nobody's gonna see her eyes anyway. Giant pupil, that makes them look darker. Eyebrows. Gotta make sure look angry. She almost has angry eyes. Okay, tattoos. It's almost like when I put the freckles on, it changed the shape of the color. Or heavy makeup, fuck it. No scars. Okay, we're gonna change her size on her. Her eyes have to be bigger. There we go. And her mouth is gonna be a little bigger, a little wider. And we're gonna make her lips a little full. So that it shows up. No, that's much better. Body shape. That works. What about Owens? No, she looks too skinny. That actually makes her fucking taller. So we'll make her skinny because I like her being shorter. Big boobs, as always. Okay. Yeah. No, it's too skinny. Body scaling. Okay, it's body scaling. Body shape. Okay, continue. Okay, Sylvanus is what? Druids, Rangers, Hermits. You know what? I like good luck. I'm gonna pick good luck. No, we're not gonna do... Fiercely loyal to the Empire. I don't want the church turning against me, and I don't want to be like a poor person. Oh, you can change the areas. Okay, I'll pick that. Continue. Character name. Okay, I'm just gonna pick the name I did for the last one. It was Mealy. Hold on. Wolf Tracker? Wolf Stalker, that's what it was. There we go. Dun dun dun. Okay, while we're doing this, I'm going to be listening to Lord Nurgle's stream.
Are one of my videos, and they gave me the monetization back. I'm still waiting for my most recent video, and I forgot what my last video was. I think it was one of my last rants. Not playing Diablo. What the fuck was it? I'll find out in a minute. Hang on. It was Dim gamers be alt-righters. Yeah. Oh, hey, well, holy shit, they gave me my monetization back. That's new. It was the one where I was bitching about the fucking article. About the alt-right thing article.
Was that thing
that stupid Polygon article or whatever it was?
Oh, God.
Before that, it was my Gamergate and Comicsgate video.
Double-click an item to equip it.
Surprisingly, they gave me the monetization back on it, so I guess it's okay.
Real quick, welcome to, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Botticella. Yes, I finally made it to the stream.
Welcome, Botticella.
Welcome, Botticella. Leave your sanity at the door. You won't need it here.
Exactly.
Yes, we have routes on today.
By the end of one of these streams, then we're not doing our job.
No, if you're not banging your head against the wall at the end of the stream, we are not doing our jobs. That's
well, if you're new and you're not doing that by the end. I think our regulars are useless at this point.
Well, tonight's guest wasn't able to make it tonight, so hopefully I can do a one-on-one discussion with him tomorrow. I'm not sure if we'll be able to make it.
I didn't know you had a guest coming on.
Just depends on what's going on. I told him I'd hit him up tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
And we were supposed to have a special guest, but yeah, he couldn't.
Well, yeah, the quartering was going to be on with us, but unfortunately he can't make it tonight. He had some shit he had to do, so... Oh, well, fucking well. Shit happens. But we're going to discuss that issue in the first place anyway, but we're not going to discuss it right now. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the stream the scariest fucking picture you'll ever see in your life.
Why?
This woman here... the stream you're gonna see in here in a minute, she fucking, well, she spent a lot of money on plastic surgery to try to make herself look like Angelina Jolie, And wound up
Oh,
looking
God.
like something Magaga Morskar let out of his basement.
I think he would take offense to that. Even he
I don't
has
know. I
standards.
think even he would have tried to make it even better looking than that, at least.
Oh,
At least
God.
he would have made it at least fuckable.
I just realized what that.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, Nurgle! What the fuck is that shit? What?
Well, apparently she looks like Angelina Jolie.
You said in the comments, it's the Crypt Keeper's
Oh
mom.
man,
Hey,
Nurgle, that's a
don't
10
insult
out
the
of
Crypt
10.
Keeper like
Let me go
that.
get my ring.
Get the fapping, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
I legitimately just threw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm not even joking.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not who it is. Okay, that's Zoe Quinn when you put her through the makeout.
The orc just said, "Where'd you get?" The orcs wants to know, Nurgle, where did you
Are
get
you
a pic
sure,
of his
Nurgle? That looks
ex-wife?
more like woo.
Look, man, don't worry about where I got the pics of the ex-wife. Okay, I'm the chaos god of death and disease.
Well,
I work
actually,
in
I know
very
exactly-
mysterious
actually, orcs-
ways.
Actually, orcs, I know exactly where you're coming from. See, one time you came into the Discord group and you were like obliterated drunk. I don't even know if you remember this, but it's like, hey, you guys want to see the hugest mistake I ever made in my life? Here you go.
Here's the woman I married. That's so marked up.
Careful with that, Nurgle.
I know, I gotta be careful. Like, someone downstairs might take it out of context and be like, what the fuck are you talking about up there?
I'm gonna kick
Oh,
your ass.
I'm waiting for that phone to
You
ding
are
right now.
attracted to. Holy fucking hell, dude.
We've already established that Nurgle has bad taste.
Yes,
Yes,
I do
I'm
have
aware.
bad
Yes,
taste.
he has a horrible taste.
All
Holy
right,
crap.
all right. So we're gonna play a little game here. Let me get my other
Okay.
image up here.
Can we play
okay.
the game?
What's the game?
The one you just
want
lost.
it? Fuck
didn't lose
you.
anything.
Alright, fuck you. You know what? Credit though, it's been over 2 years since someone has reminded me of that shit. So
All right, well
It's been a while. I figured it was a good time.
yes.
You said that
we're gonna play a little game here, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
we're bound.
Please, if you're at least watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen, especially the chat, get on involved in this. We're gonna play a game of which one, if you had to take one of them in your bedroom, which one's it gonna be?
Oh,
Picture
How am I
of
supposed
Laura,
to see
is
this
it gonna
shit,
be
Nurgle?
Laura Loomer, or is it
Potter,
gonna
you said
be,
you kept that.
or is it gonna be Magog's science project?
I think I can fix up the Magog science project.
Is this week's equivalent of the Rule 34 challenge?
No, this is not the week's equivalent of the Rule
She-
34
she
challenge.
just
But if you
needs-
want,
She needs some sun
if you
and some
want,
food,
you can
and she'll
make
be
this
good,
the
man.
Rule 34 challenge.
Okay.
Oh,
She needs
God.
just a little
no.
sun and food, Nurgle.
What in the
And she'll
hell
look
did
good.
you send me,
Yeah.
Scotty? Scotty just been sending me all kinds of shit tonight.
That's what you
Oh
were
yeah, Nurgle, I got
talking
something for you to show the stream.
How video games' biggest show comes together? Award show?
Who
Fuck the
is a-
award.
Yeah, that's just
They will
fucking
enter the heart
disgusting.
of the
I'm
city,
not listening.
protect his enclave.
Oh, that's horrible.
I must stay and deal with the Red Wizards. Please, go to the bridge and aid the defenders.
Yeah, I'm going
Destroy
to
the
the fucking
undead
bridge.
soldiers near the gate to our north so it may be opened safely. Then talk to Private Wilfred. He will get you inside the city and show you the way to the bridge. Be careful, these undead are more aggressive than others you fought.
Press Q to use Marauder's Escape. Dash backward, evading your enemies.
Okay, I gotta admit, that did make me jump a little. Hey, Private Wilfred.
Hello again. You're looking a good deal fiercer than when you washed up on the beach. Told you trying out by the fire would do you good.
Yeah,
My
you
mother
did.
always says, warm clothes make for a warm heart. You've thinned out the skeletons enough that we should be able to slip through the gate safely. Linkletter gave me some healing potions for you. You may need them on the bridge.
Cool. Do I actually have? Oh, you put them in my tray. I don't know if
Less
I like you
capable
handling my
physical
tray.
rotation to travel to it.
They're in trouble! We must go to their aid!
Double tap any direction to shift away from enemy attacks. Cannot shift when your stamina is low.
Look out! Archers!
I like that split shot. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty cool thing.
Just keep coming!
Wilfred, you could do a fucking thing here. It would be really nice. Hiding behind a woman is really not cool.
What in the nine hells is that?
Press 1 to use seismic shot, firing a concussive blast into the ground which draws in and damages foes. You can activate your daily power when your action points are full.
The gatehouse! We're going to make it!
Dun dun dun. Oh, I'm alone. did I get? Oh, I gotta hit I to get it. Okay. I have no shoes. I gotta identify. Shoesies. Oh no.
Sorry, should have been more cautious. But when I thought of all my friends who died because of her, find Sergeant Knox and tell him what happened. Ask him to check on my mother from time to time. You have to stop her. Lord Neverember is no saint, but he's better than the alternative. If Neverember fails here, Valindra will rule Neverwinter. Find Sergeant Knox. He's one of Neverember's guards, one of the good ones. You must stop Valindra.
Well, that was a thing.
Try and get a decal made of the little guns that you always have in your logo and try to have those snuck on when Nurgle's not
Now,
looking.
I don't understand. This isn't the Hello Kitty model that he wanted, but, you know, it's close enough. This is the princess model. That's actually what it's called. It's called the princess model, and it's on clearance for $895.
There is another. I'm looking at the site too. There is another one called the.
You know what's even funnier, Nurgle? I wouldn't be able to fit in that, but you sure would.
Whoa, wait a second. The Hello Kitty model.
This one?
I thought Leon wanted the My Little Pony model.
No, that was my. No,
Lisa
that's
wants it.
Well, this could be the Pinkie Pie model, I guess.
Actually, Lisa wants it.
It's from a site called Zorro, but I'm still on the. Okay, so what they have is a DQE MC 4055 coffin that comes with a body bag.
Oh, it comes with a free body bag, too?
Greetings, adventurer. I am Sergeant Knox. This city owes you a debt of gratitude. Please, follow me. Many of the citizens here wish to thank you personally.
Oh, guys, come on, leave me on.
Follow me.
Whoever gets there that will never have indigestion in the afterlife.
Wait a second, Nurgle. Nurgle, wait a second. I gotta say something. I couldn't fit in one of those things. I know you could, though. Because you're short enough.
Oh, dude, hey, Leon, he and I are the same height, motherfucker.
I know.
Yeah, and by
I understand you lost quite a few gold belongings.
all three of you are short.
was destroyed
Yes,
by the
sir.
Trackerage.
Hello, adventurer.
You'll get
Heard about what
Don't
happened.
get excited. My bad, don't get your hopes up.
I've heard that there's a version that's just one giant casket
Lord
split down the
Neverember
middle.
asked me to take charge of organizing the city's defense.
Pretty interesting.
I believe they call it
That
the
would sell
Romeo
out.
and Juliet casket.
What I'm gonna do is, like, I'm gonna put in my will that the wife gets half of everything, so including half of me whenever I die. But she only gets the
Part of
ass
that
in
charge
half.
is hiring brave adventurers like yourself. They beat threats before they end up at our gates.
So in my will, I'm gonna write that when I die, when I die, the bottom half of me has to be cut off and shipped to her randomly on a random date.
My daughter's.
So when she opens a box, she just gets my ass in a box.
My daughter's bought this thing.
You and your sense of humor, I figured you'd probably send her your dick in a box.
You damn
When I
right.
die?
What's up, Ralts?
When I die, my daughter's bought this thing where when I die, I get shipped to this facility and made into diamonds.
Damn.
Karen, he didn't say he wanted to bury it in Mara Loomer. That was someone else.
I'd bury it in Laura.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you have shit taste.
Please
No,
don't
I
accept
think it started with me on shit taste, and I think it's more self-loathing.
Well, with Laura Loomer, you just come on her face, steal her bra, and make her walk home.
Exactly. Except I would have made her walk home without pants.
Well, here's the thing. I would do it for one night, then I would leave the country, change
Protectors
my
on
name, and
plane.
get facial reconstructive surgery. So
Disturbances in the vaults beneath the Hall of Justice. The guards are spread thin after the last attack, but you've proven yourself more than capable.
What
So I'd like to ask you to look into it for me.
Anyway, I guess
I've told the
maybe we
gate guards
should.
you're
I
coming.
guess that's
They'll let you into the vault.
around. I guess maybe we should probably get into let's do the Keemstar and get right into the news.
Oh yeah, because as we all know, Keemstar
Lisa, I already sent
controls
Keemstar a message.
Wizards
Told him
Club.
about you confessing your love for him. It's okay.
You know what, Keemstar? Wait, Keemstar, you mean Steve Shive's twin brother?
I'm telling you, Steve Shives and Keemstar.
Killer meme star. Let's get right into the news.
Look, Keemstar and Steve Shives are the same person. I'm just telling you the truth. What?
You had better.
Yeah, you made dinner last
fucking joking with me right now, because I swear to God, if I find out you actually did that, I will hunt your ass down and I will make you choke on your own dick.
So that's what it takes. So that's what it takes to get some kinkiness out of you. Alrighty then. Let me just get on Twitter. That's easier said than done.
Okay, how many how many chances have we had where you, like,
You're the one Sergeant Knox sent to investigate.
that time makes her clearly back.
Glad you're here. We've heard some strange noises from the vault.
Hang on, you're
One of the other guards went to check on it. But
I'm
he should
down
be
with a
back
little
by
bit of pain
now.
for pleasure. It doesn't
I have to guard the
anyway.
entrance.
I
But I'll
am
let
a
you
big
through.
fan of Hellraiser.
Find the source of those noises and look for Quartermaster Otis. He'll know what's happening.
Alrighty then. Let's see, when I die, I want my brain put on life support, so when people find a way to put it in a mainframe, I'll become Skynet.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. It's the reason she's a Ken Ham groupie. She's never been nailed so hard she can't walk straight. Oh. You think I am intimidated by by that? No.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Time makes these too.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of spanking. I think it adds a little bit of flair to the bedroom antics, that's all.
Well, here's one that I think even you would cringe at, and it has been used, by the way.
Well, it better have chains and spikes on it, and it better be rusty, because we ain't going nowhere fast without that.
It's made out of full computer wire.
Wow, that's actually pretty fucking crazy.
I see it make people bleed.
Alrighty then, alright. So, I guess maybe let's get right into it, get into a few things here. Let's go ahead and discuss it. First up, let's get this piece of shit out the fucking way, because God damn, this is the thing. This is something that just won't fucking end. It's about as bad as Game Brigade. It just won't go away. EA is still feeling the burn.
Not only that, they continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Actually, right now, I'm pretty sure that EA is loving the director for the FCC, since the internet seems to hate him more now.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder which one is hated more equally.
I'm not entirely sure if people completely backed off when it comes to that quote. I think they're hating them both equally. However, then
at the very least, that they use the games or put out the games in the past, I've seen nothing positive about this guy.
Now, aside from the fact that there was that one video by, I think it was by Skill Up, that described how we got to this whole loot box obsession thing with EA, and how the CEO is probably going to get booted within a year or so.
Well, that's probably what's going to happen. But
it's a really good video. I do recommend looking into it.
Well, let me go ahead and discuss what the newer thing is. I mean, there's something new with another new development that came out of it, and that is the fact that EA had, I believe it was like their stock has lost $3 billion.
Yes.
3.2 billion in stock value lost.
They've dropped. Now the price of the stock has dropped $22.
That's a lot for stock.
It's a sinking ship.
That was $22 for stock is. People say, "Oh, that's not a lot." Oh, yeah, that is a lot.
Overall, absolutely.
That's save some bullets for the rest of the fucking industry. Hey, Jesus Christ!
It's
I know, right?
And
Well, hey,
given
Konami
that,
used up most of ours, I think.
given that, here's what makes the whole thing even better. Is the fact that well for starters, the two big excuses that they've been trying to pull on people. The first one be and this is the most recent one, and in fact, as much as I don't like him, Jim Sterling made a video taking the piss out of it. The lore excuse.
Oh God, yes.
The reason why they put in all that loot box bullshit instead of going cosmetic, even though people have recently found that there was a customized menu hidden in Battlefront 2, is the fact that
snuck into the vault.
Well, they said that they didn't want to do.
They're here to steal the crown
They
of
didn't want to do
Neverwinter.
aesthetic
They almost got
stuff,
to it.
and cosmetic stuff
anger the
because
dead resting in
nobody
lower
wants
vaults.
it would not
They're
fit
fighting
the
each other
lore,
down there right now.
and nobody wants
I
to
sealed
run
them in
around
behind the
fighting
hidden
as
entrance
a
to the
pink
lower-
Darth Vader. Let me just tell you something, motherfuckers. I would run around as a pink Darth Vader in the game because nobody would want to admit that they just got their ass beat by a fucking pink Darth Vader.
I would absolutely love to be a Hello Kitty Darth Vader with a pink lightsaber.
That'd been hilarious as fuck.
And yet they promote themselves as being inclusive, but they don't want to include a pink Darth Vader in the game.
I want to say real quick to Scott, no, it's the line isn't that money is the root of all evil, it's love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
So you're saying greed?
Basically, yes.
Greed. Greed is the root of all evil.
You want to talk about lore, but you've got Kylo Ren fighting stormtroopers on Hoth. Blow me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They also tried to claim in that same argument that what gamers want is realism from Star Wars.
No.
Oh God.
A moment to recover your side.
You know what? Could I say something, guys? One of two things is gonna happen. One is EA is gonna lose the Star Wars license because right now I bet because they embarrassed Disney right now. Disney got embarrassed by EA with this whole thing. Disney is actually within rights to cut the license from EA. They're probably going to lose the license.
I don't know if they're going to lose the license. And the thing is it's going to be very difficult for EA to even make a Battlefront 3 now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 2 years in a row that they fucked up. Because Battlefront 1 came out last year, didn't it?
Yeah, 2 years ago,
or was it the year
2015.
before?
2 years ago, with barely any content, and even here's the thing. Even with the heroes, good fucking luck trying to actually use them in a match.
You could in this game. You have to be the best player to do.
Go ahead.
You have to be the best player in order to get the heroes. So you have to be.
I thought you had to have
It's
a
not
larger
just some
team
random.
Yeah, that's the other thing is you
Using them
unlock these
for-
characters and then when you go into the game, you got to be the biggest, baddest motherfucker in the team, and that's who's going to get to play as one of the characters. Which is in itself kind of fucked up too, because that means like Joe Schmo who just plays around and he's probably never going to get to ever play the fucking characters.
Actually, there are some heroes that. Yeah, I could see that, but at least it's not like what it used to be with the last game where it was just some random dude would pick up the card, would pick up this like floating star card, which would be a hero card, and you have to be there at the right time. It's like that was stupid because you couldn't play the hero you wanted. You couldn't play just some random spammer could play
Look,
it.
I'm just one to say, bring back Jedi Academy. Jedi Academy was fun. Jedi Outcast 2 and Jedi Academy were great games. And the multiplayer was amazing. You just had a shit ton of dudes running around as Jedis instead of killing each other. It was so fucking fun.
There's a reason why I shared the YouTube series How to Lightsaber, because that was some great hilarity through that shit.
Well, I mean, like, okay, yes, does anybody remember those two games?
I do.
Do you remember playing that? I mean, like, you could play, you could throw your fucking lightsaber and shit. You had the choice between using, like, force pull and force push or fucking choke. My favorite was people would run up to capture the flag and I would do the force choke and just drop them off the ledge.
There were multiple times where there would be a large gap and somebody would think, okay, I'll just leap over this. And I'm like, don't do it. And it's like, I'm doing it. They leap over, force push, get knocked into oblivion. I told you not to do it, and you did it anyways.
But I mean, it's like, that's what people want from a Star Wars game, too, besides Battlefront. Like, people want multiple things with it, and all they had to do was put in a few things, leave out the bullshit DLC antics, and the game would have been fucking selling like hotcakes. But no. Gotta fuck everybody over and throw out the casino.
And
bullshit.
That's not the only foot bullet that happened. There was also what EA's chief financial officer had said, and based on this, I think that their CFO needs to start exploring other career options.
No, he's gonna get his ass fired pretty soon.
Because he tried to claim in front of a major conference with the straightest of straight faces that people aren't interested in single-player experiences.
That's
bullshit.
Yeah, I saw
that was the case.
I saw that too, but
I actually prefer single player, to be completely honest.
I don't want to
it's
play
kind of hard to
Gain a scroll of identification.
on the fucking internet who can't figure out how to open their fucking inventory. Get me a brainless AI to follow me around and drool on the floor.
Well, first of all, let me address Card Lover here. He says, Blizzard, I believe, is one of the best at microtransactions because he's simply cosmetic and has nothing to do with gameplay. That may be true, but still, I am highly against the selling of the loot boxes, because I know you're talking about Overwatch. I'm highly against the sale of loot boxes in Overwatch for the simple fact that you're still paying money for randomized shit, and you have no idea what you're going to get out of those boxes.
There's also that other issue with Steam itself too. They do the loot box.
What with the CS:GO bullshit or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's been addressed. But here's the thing, though, is recently, as you guys know, it caught governmental attention, and now the senator over at Hawaii, whatever, is saying, if it's basically giving the industry an ultimatum and saying, if you don't regulate it, if you don't self-regulate and fix this shit yourselves, we're going to be pushing forth legislation. I don't know if anybody caught wind of that recently, but that actually got said, thrown out there.
Yep. I think it's about time the EA gets hit hard. It really is about time they get at the end of that they finally get what's coming to them.
And I agree, loot boxes are a form of gambling. I mean, we've beaten this shit to death because we talked about it before the last couple of streams, and I have a whole rant video to put out here pretty soon all about it too. But yeah, it's gambling, in my opinion. If you look at it, I mean, there's no way around it. Some people will say, well, what about the fact that you go buy some Pokemon cards, you know? You don't know what you're going to get out of that booster. Yeah, that's true. But at least you have a physical product that you can still do something with and you walk away with it.
True. It's true and not true at the same time for two reasons. One, of course, there's the matter of resale value, and two, if you look at the back of a booster pack, it will list out what the odds are that you what the odds are of the type of cards that you're going to get out of it, because you're always going to get this. You're always going to get the same amount of commons and one or two rares.
Well, yeah.
It will show the exact odds. Like for uncommon, it might be X and 1, Y and 1, etc. You look at any trading card game that does booster packs, it will do that.
So I'm confused here. Are y'all saying that you're upset because the loot is random, or because you have to pay for it?
It's the idea that you're paying for random shit. Like, I could give a shit if you can earn loot boxes through game without buying it with real money. Fine, so be it. It's randomized. I don't care. But if you're paying real money for a box that's going to be random in the game, that is where you're crossing that line of possibility of gambling.
Here was the issue with Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Sorry. The thing is that they expect you to pay for certain things, like if you have to unlock this content or this content in order to gain access to the content. Like if you want to do the heroic mode, whatever they had in there, because I haven't played it. Honestly, I'm lucky I didn't play it because
I have.
Yeah, so you had to pay this amount of money in order to unlock several characters in a freaking game. Yep. Like at least 2,000. Like according to some people that pointed this out, I know that how much was it? 2,000 something.
Hold on, Darren made another
that's
valid.
where all the star cards.
Hold on. Darren made another valid point in the chat. He said you're forgetting the main counter to that too. You can always buy the card direct that you want from another player or a gaming outlet. You know, when you're talking about like physical cards like Magic or Pokemon or whatever, right? He said, but you can't buy a Darth Vader star card directly from from EA.
And one thing I was trying to get at was that with the loot boxes, the odds are not posted.
Not always.
Well, yeah, the odds are not posted. Seeking Origin said, to be fair, how many kids are buying hundreds of dollars of Pokemon cards without their parents' knowledge? That's the real problem I have. That's true, but again, like I said, though, when you're buying Pokemon cards, you're buying... Hold on.
I was throwing something like hundreds of dollars. Okay, I gave my kid, in the 90s, I gave my kids $10 a week in allowance. Because, I was making good bank. And so my daughters would spend $5 to $10 a week on Pokemon. Multiply that by 52, they were spending a minimum of $250 each a year on Pokemon cards. Put the four of them together and you've got $1,000 a year going to Pokemon cards. Minimum.
Protector's Enclave.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not defending
but at the ending point too, like we were saying though, you can go buy these cards and you can even resell them, you can trade them. You can't do that with these loot boxes.
But I agree that EA did cross the line, because making it to where game content, like gameplay content, actual physical, well, not physical, but you understand what I mean, actual gameplay is affected by what you purchase. That's fucked up. But I don't see a problem with the loot crate thing, because it's not so much about you're mentioning physical objects and this, that, or another. The reason that you purchase those physical objects and the reason that you hold on to them isn't because you're thinking, oh, down the road I'll resell them. No, the reason that you're doing it is for a sense of satisfaction. So if someone wants to purchase a loot crate to get that cosmetic design, if they need to purchase 50 loot crates to finally get that cosmetic design that they want, then fine, do it, because you'll be satisfied once you finally get it. Congratulations.
No, but what we're talking about, whiskey. What we're talking about, and I've played this game enough times, is we're not talking about like cosmetic. That's not what we're talking about.
He already acknowledged that, and he said the same thing. That's fucked up. And
but
I get where you're coming at. You're saying it's your money. You spend your money on what you want. They're giving you the option to buy it. The thing is a lot of people are seeing it as a form of gambling, and especially with how it's tied to it directly. You don't know the odds of what you're actually up against when you're trying to, what your ratio, your percentages are when you open these boxes of what's going to be in these boxes. like I said, when you open, I bought a gravity feed of I bought a gravity feed of, or 2 gravity feeds of fucking Dice Masters this week, and each of them had told me on the box, you know, hey, you're gonna get that, your chances are you're gonna get this many. There's at least 2. This whole boot thing here is guaranteed at least 2 ultra rares in this entire box. You know, there's guaranteed this many rares in here, and this many uncommons, and this many commons. You're not getting that from these loot boxes. You're not seeing that, and I don't know. The way it's done to me is it's almost a form of it's almost done in a method that's kind of like a slot machine, kind of.
It's predatory.
It's kind of predatory the way they're doing it, I guess.
Fine. That actually, I agree with it. I actually fully support it. I think every game needs it now.
Okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Here's the other thing. No matter if you kill like 50 or more people, you're only getting 300 something credits out of the whole thing. That's it.
Actually, JT, no matter how. Wait a second here. Could I say something from someone who played the game?
Go ahead.
Okay, could I say something, Urkel?
Go ahead, Leon.
I gotta say it like this. From playing the game, the credits, I looked at them. It's 4,500 credits for the basic, for the box. So like 2,500 for the hero and 3,000 for the starfighter. That's basically all it is. And the problem with the loot card system is it does affect gameplay. Yes, that's one. But the other thing is no matter how good you are, you don't get that many you don't get difference in credits. It's like everybody gets the same credits after a match, even if you're just sitting there dragging your feet, or if you just have it set to auto, like the controller just moves around and stuff. That's
there's one aspect of this that we're not acknowledging, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Leon. But there's one aspect that we're not acknowledging, and I think that even Whiskey's not acknowledging here is, excuse me, this is a retail, full-price, $60 title. This isn't a free-to-play game. This isn't like Paragon or fucking Warframe.
No, I was going to bring up the example of Smite, because that is a free-to-play game. A lot of it, yeah, it's cosmetic, but at the same time, a lot of the funds, like, I've seen them donate to the large amounts of funds for the Red Cross. Like, they'll put out a specific chest, and hey, all the money that goes here goes to help this charity, or it goes to, the prize pool for the next big tournament.
Well, like I said, though, here's the thing, though. You're spending $60 for this game, and then the game is requesting and is rigged in a way to frustrate you to pay real money for these boxes for this already $60 title that you paid for. And that's if you just paid for the $60 version. And then you could also pay the $80 or $100 version, which gave you all these free pay-to-win style fucking weapons and shit. Which, is nothing unusual, but, it's out there when they do that. So, that's my biggest issue and concern here is that, hey, it's almost a form of gambling. You're pushing and frustrating the player to buy these loot boxes, and they've already forked over full price for this title. Now, had this been a free-to-play title, I would say, yeah, so fucking what? That's how they make their money. That's how they're funding the title. But this isn't the case. They're already charging you admission for the game.
I had a feeling this was going to happen because they said DLC is free, and it's like, okay, they're going to try to scam us out of money. I think they're going to do loot crate scamming, and guess what?
The only DLC I've seen that was truly free was with Witcher 3.
Well, Nis put out this one
quick,
too. He said the fact that they're using the same game theory design that casinos use for designing their slot machines, it's all about engendering an addiction.
Actually, Nero, can I interject? Because you brought up something I wanted to bring up.
Oh, shit. Go ahead, Doku.
So, I see the EA loot box system, and it vaguely reminds me of the system they had in, I think it was Halo 5? Was the most recent one?
Yeah, you're talking about the Warzone thing.
Yeah, but the thing about Halo 5 is, first off, all of that was only available in Warzone maps under a certain gameplay style, depending on what you could access. but the system put in place didn't feel punitive so much as it felt rewarding. And it wasn't like there was a massive grind to try to be able to access the top tier, what were they called, requisitions?
Yeah,
Versus-
requisitions. It was basically trying to be a fixed version of the ordnance mechanic that everybody hated in 4.
Exactly. But the thing is, it never felt punitive so much as it felt rewarding when you could open that high tier requisition and you could get a purple, you have a badass scorpion tank or something like that. It always felt like there was actually, like EA falsely claimed, it did feel like there was a sense of accomplishment to it, but it wasn't set up in such a way where you had to grind absurd amounts of hours and be the top player in every fucking game just to be able to access something decent. Whereas with EA, it feels almost punitive, where, like you were saying, you frustrate the player to the point where you want them to spend money.
Well, they're trying to I'm looking at the chat right now, and one of them pointed out that they're doing the free-to-play model from the Perfect World Entertainment business model.
Yeah, they very much are, and even though it's got some issues, I have to give a bit of respect towards Warframe because of how it handles its own microtransactions and the like. Because for starters, there's the fact that it doesn't really do the loot box, and also anything that you could buy with platinum, the in-game currency. There is nothing in its shop that is exclusive to that. Anything that you could buy with real you could craft.
There was a turret guy here, so across here. I know.
Well, anyway, I mean, the other thing though that we needed to talk about with this though is because we've argued the sanctity of loot boxes for quite some fucking time.
Yeah.
What we do need to discuss though about it is the possibility of there becoming a governmental legislation, and the fact that this senator's basically saying if you don't fucking self-regulate or do something, industry, we will take it on ourselves to fucking do something about it. So the question is do you think that's going to be a big bad idea if the government's able to do it, or if they should self-regulate? Because I'm curious of what they would even do to self-regulate. Because I honestly don't know.
They wouldn't be able to self-regulate. EA put all their eggs into this rotten basket. All their rotten eggs into a flimsy basket, and they're swinging it on the top of the Empire State Building. So...
Well, I mean, that's the question, is though, what form of self-regulation can they actually implement?
None, because somebody will start doing loot boxes and break the fucking self-regulation rules so they can go out and do whatever the fuck they want and make more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And, I mean, do you want... The other question is, do you want the government regulating something like this? Do you want them to get involved with this? Because now, essentially, you get the government come in, this will be them actually being able to tell them what practices they're allowed to do when it comes to monetizing their product.
Because government control is always better.
Yeah, just look at the VA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my question is like, personally, I think if they do implement anything, it's going to be something like, oh, you can't sell loot boxes. You have to sell product that the gamer and the player actually know exactly what they're getting. They can't just buy a box with random shit in it. It has to be, okay, you can buy this or you can buy that. And that opens the table for even more microtransaction, because it's like, oh, well, fine, we can monetize every little inch of the game, so you can buy whatever the fuck you want after we've taken your $60.
Well, here's what I think. Rather than turning to the government and saying, let's get more government control, why don't we just rely on ourselves and the backlash that gamers are going to give to this game?
Well, that's the problem, though, is how long did it take for this to happen? And then secondly, the government's not giving them that option. The government's saying, you either put something in place or we will now. Because that's where we're at now. That's how come it's so bad now. It's gotten to that point where the government is stepping in and saying, You fix it or we fix it. And now we're in that situation.
Um,
I mean, the
I
only
very much
thing
get the
we as
feeling they're gonna
consumers
try
can
to-
honestly do is do what we're doing now. Have a discussion and all decide, hey, this is what needs to be done, and we need to make sure the industry knows full well what we feel needs to be done.
I think what's going to happen is that, for one, EA is going to try and pull the whole make the debate obsolete trick. Whether or not it's going to work is another matter entirely, but they are going to try and pull that. And what I'd imagine is going to happen is that they're probably going to try and put a show of it through the ESA. But moreover, what I do predict will happen is that you are going to see a bit of a climb down from other companies to going with
All right, I'm sorry. Who's jerking off into their phone again?
Not me. I'm trying to change. I'm doing something else right now, and I'll mute myself.
It was a joke.
Anyway, what I do suspect is going to happen is that you might see a bit of hesitance regarding loot boxes, or at the very least, you're probably going to see investors questioning about whether or not losing that amount of money is an acceptable risk. Because this loot box thing we already have data that's showing that it is costing them money, and there's also the fact that if that article I came across this morning is any indication, that EA wants to try the whole loot box thing again with UFC. So what I get the feeling of what's going to happen is that in time you're going to see loot boxes regarded as something toxic.
Well, I mean, you've already seen that with most microtransactions as it is. I mean, we've seen it happen with on-disc DLC. We've seen it happen with Day 1 DLC. We've seen backlash on pre-order DLC. And now we're seeing backlash on the loot box system. And the thing is EA is the straw that broke the camel's back, because there were other games that were utilizing the loot box system prior to this game, besides Overwatch, because you had Injustice 2 and Shadow of War, and there was another game, too, that was doing it. But the thing was, though, is if I'm not mistaken, but with the exception of Shadow of War, most of those other games weren't being so bad with the loot boxes.
Well, I hate to bring up Halo 5 again, but that's something else that I think should be addressed, is the problem with EA was balancing issues when it comes to the loot box system. Because as far as EA is concerned, you either have a ridiculous grind or you spend money. Versus with Halo, yeah, you could pay money and you could get a little bit of an advantage, but there were still rewards for certain achievements or leveling up. Like, there were other ways to go about it. It wasn't just you grind your ass off and pour every waking hour into the game just to stay competitive, or you spend money. Like, there are other alternatives to it. So I think
there's
that's
also the fact that with Halo 5, Warzone was a purpose-built section. It was not the loot boxes in the microtransactions regarding Warzone were exclusive to Warzone and no other mode. You did not have to deal with that shit if you didn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. You could just play the arena.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't have to even get a hint of loot box bullshit.
Yeah, the game wasn't built around loot boxes and things like that, let alone having to spend money to stay competitive.
You guys are also forgetting one huge thing. The fact that they have devised a way for the matchmaking system to make sure that your weapon or armor that you purchased is paired up with somebody who is weak to that type of weapon or armor, so that it looks like the stuff you buy is better overall and encourages you to buy more stuff.
Oh, the Activision patent?
Yes. Yep. And that's another issue too in itself. I mean, that's the thing is we're looking at you got to forget. People are forgetting. We're working with video games and computers here. That's one of the other things about dealing with like the physical product when you deal with like Magic or Dice Masters or whatever. You're looking at this. there's no setup that's putting you against other players that are definitely going to be stronger than you just because of what you're using already, you know. There's nothing that's actually forcing you to play against players like that. When you're doing these games, there's this patent that's allowed to push that type of thing too. So I mean, it's
purposefully putting you at a disadvantage to try to encourage people to spend money, or in other words, purposefully trying to piss you off.
And that's kind of what, you know, you see with the casino. Everything you see when you go in a casino is to force to make you spend money. I mean, right down to the currency. I mean, you go to a casino, like I said.
Believe it or not, in a casino, it is right down to the carpet pattern and the paint on the walls.
Exactly. And it's not just that. It's just right. It's like when you walk in and you trade in your money for your chips. You know, that's just to kind of fool you into feeling like you're not really playing with money. You know. And that's something you see with like the in-game currencies that are for sale and shit like that.
I mean, even then, with casinos, at least you're still playing with something tangible. Loot boxes, I feel, are far more predatory.
That and don't casinos have to post their odds?
I don't know about all that.
I gotta take off, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good evening.
They do have odds. I went to a couple of casinos where if you open the second drawer of the little chest, you find a list of your odds. Usually your odds are better off not getting the clap from a hooker.
Anyway. I don't know, I just wanted to I wanted to touch on this because it's just an ongoing thing that keeps on continuing. Then now it's cost them over $3 billion in their stock price, and the game sales have, like, their physical sales are like 61% lower than the previous game or some shit like that. It's been insane.
In the UK at least, we don't know if
what the US sales are like.
Yeah,
I would imagine it's probably just about the same or worse.
Well, I won't be
everywhere you heard about with Black Friday, like. That game apparently was the only game left on the shelves everywhere.
Let me see if VG Charts has anything.
I don't know. They should, and that's the thing though, is that I don't think EA's really gonna ever release like an exact amount of sales done on this game. They're always gonna say, well, how many were shipped, but
yeah, you may recall that I predicted that exactly.
Yeah, because they're not gonna want to admit how much of a failure the game was.
Well, and also Sorry, go ahead, Leon.
If you invested money into EA as a stockholder, you might know, but other than that, because you would demand sales.
We'll see the sales, but by the time we do, it'll have all blown over, and we'll be on to something new.
I started a thing. If you followed my advice, you got it, and you bought a share of EA. You're allowed to, if you hold one share or more, add to the shareholders newsletter, and I added a call for the shareholders deserve to know how many copies are not only sold to the stores, but how many did the stores sell, how many were on digital delivery, how many were returned by Steam, and basically, we want a complete breakdown of the sales, not just, oh, we moved 40 million units. Well, I don't care because I want to know, basically I wrote the letter with, I want to know how many of the stores were able to sell, because I keep seeing Battlefront 2 on every shelf in every store I go into, which means that the stores aren't going to order next time.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same case with Marvel, you know, people are, like, they're shipping books left and right, but the books are sitting on the shelves collecting dust, you know?
Yeah, here in Missoula, after Black Friday, you see almost all the new games just disappear like that, and they put them on for Black Friday sale. Battlefront was on there, and they did not move any sales. They're still stacked. They have, like, in the game case.
Well, a lot of investors don't really look at that.
Stack.
So with the way I'm trying to demand that we get an actual breakdown, I'm hoping it'll lead to an industry change.
And I just checked on VG charts. They have not updated the entry for War Battlefront 2. So I'd imagine we're not going to. Well, VG charts is usually a month behind due to the sheer amount of data that they have to process.
Well, one of the big investment corporations that are on the shareholders list called Battlefront 2 a horrible investment that may have permanently damaged the stock for years to come.
Yeah, which is amusing because wasn't there that analyst not too long ago that was trying to claim that
the games aren't expensive enough?
Yeah.
Well, he worked for EA.
I think he worked for like EA and Comcast.
NBC did that because NBC did that review or did that article because they knew damn well people were going to be coming at them with fucking foaming at the mouth. They fucking knew it. That's why they did that shit. That article was nothing but pure clickbait garbage, and we all fucking fell for it. But anyway, before I move on, has anybody got anything else they want to say about fucking EA's dumb shit that we've talked about for the third or fourth time on this stream?
I hope this sinks the company, honestly, because I'm really just tired. I'm tired of EA. I'm tired of talking about them.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I don't think it's going to sink them, but I do think that they're going to.
I'm going to say it like this. So this is EA's Capcom moment. I'm calling it a Capcom moment. They make a colossal mess up, like Capcom did on this DLC. EA did loot boxes. This is this
Actually,
decade's
WB did
on
it
this
first.
DLC.
Well, this is the thing.
Actually, WB did it first.
Capcom is still trying to recover from all the bullshit mistakes they made with DLC and microtransactions, and they still can't recover because they lost a lot of fan base over it. And then with Street Fighter V, they really fucked over the gamers there because that game is nothing more than a $60 buy-in for a DLC scheme too. Like I every day I think about Street Fighter V and I wish I'd never fucking bought the damn game.
It very much is feeling like that for some. Monster Hunter World is the last hope for Capcom.
Yes.
Even if Monster Hunter has never really been able to build up the kind of audience that it has in Japan over in the States.
Well, it's not even Monster Hunter. It's just Capcom. They've burned off. They won't make any. Like they keep getting requests for multiple different IPs to be made into more games. Like they keep getting asked, when's the next Mega Man? When's the next Darkstalkers? And they keep going, no, fuck that. We're just gonna keep making the same shit over and over.
The
and making
thing they're
DLC
trying to do is they're trying to do a Devil May Cry again. And I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is an absolute piece of shit. It won't stay around for very long. It's not going to see much gameplay in the fighting tournaments.
Well,
it's just not there.
MVC 3 hung around longer than this one's hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, fuck EA though, because I'm never gonna forgive them for Westwood, and they fucking ruined Command and Conquer after like Red Alert 2, which was actually good, and then they decided to cancel Tiberium, which was the first-person shooter for Tiberian Sun, which was canceled about the same time that Blizzard decided to cancel Ghost. Which
I gotta say something about EA. If any of you watched when Nintendo did their game announcement thing back in like I think it was January. Back like last January, they did their announcement for the Switch, like the game announcement stuff, or December. Forgot when it was, but it was a while ago. Nintendo did this thing where it was like the games and stuff. They had EA come out, and this EA rep just sounded like he was bored being there, and he was just bland, interested about anything, and he was very pretentious. And it's like that's the company in a nutshell.
Yeah,
they're not. Honestly, they're sorry.
Well, with that said, I want to move on because we've talked about EA. We've beaten this horse like about 1,000 fucking times. Jesus Christ, it's getting fucking older than fucking dirt. hurt.
Wait,
It's
can I
not-
just say one
There's
thing?
going to be something more. There's going to be something else coming in a week. I guarantee. I guarantee you
Oh,
that.
I guarantee it. I'm waiting for EA's next title to get more backlash.
Okay.
What were you about to say, Doku?
Wait,
Go ahead.
1 second.
Go ahead, Leon. I'll pass.
There's no door. One last thing I gotta say is there's one or two things gonna happen. One is they're gonna do absolutely nothing the way it is, like just keep those loot boxes. Or two, Disney's gonna tell me you do this, or we're gonna find new developers for the next one, and they're going to actually change up the progression system. They're probably attempting to rework everything because they do not want to face a backlash anymore.
Okay, I'll just say what I was going to say real quick.
That's just like it.
I wish I had more disposable income.
Go ahead.
Because if I could do an options trade on EA, holy crap, you could have made a lot of money.
Yeah, that's very true.
Call and put options against EA, considering the environment that they've created for themselves. Oh man, you could have made some bank. That's all I had to say.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's see what's out there.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, that's all we got to say. Hold on.
I don't know what the future holds. I just know that heads are probably going to roll. But it is high time to move on to stupider things. So how about we deal with these special snowflakes in the longest running trading card game.
Oh, well, first of all, I wanted to talk about something about Marvel real quick, because this won't take us long. I wanted to talk about the new editor-in-chief real fast, because apparently he's already getting into some hot water, which Marvel already said, yeah, we know what happened, we don't really give a shit anymore, it's been handled.
Okay, for now, as far as I understand it, it goes down like this. Now, the new EIC, before he got that position, at one point was heading up Marvel's Asian initiative, and in the process, and moreover, he had some background when it comes to publishing manga. Through this, he established a pen name, Akira Yoshida, which it isn't quite Jiro Yamada levels of genericness, but it is very, very close. For the record, Jiro Yamada is basically the Japanese equivalent of being named John Smith.
Yeah.
But apparently, from what I understand, people are pissy about this because of appropriation or some shit. And I apparently pissed off a few people and got a few laughs when I said, So let me get this straight. Using a Japanese pen name as appropriation, but plagiarizing from Japanese artists is a-okay.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing about it this is the one thing I wanted to point out about this, and like I said, I don't think we're going to stay long on this, because Marvel themselves came out and even said, well, you know, we've acknowledged it, it's been handled, it's been dealt with, we don't really give a fuck, we're moving forward. You know, obviously Marvel really wants this guy to stay in charge any fucking way, regardless. The reason I'm saying this is I think this was dredged up anyway, because I think the Milkshake crew is scared.
Yeah, they are.
They're scared because they realize that this means something's changing at Marvel that's going to force them to probably get the fuck out.
Well, they lost their shield.
Well, yeah, and Alonso was fine with them doing whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
And now this guy's going to come in, and I don't know if anything really is going to change, but it's really telling, in my opinion, if you see this, to see a controversy, or a non-controversy like this come out of the blue that makes no sense, and why anybody should even give a fuck about it.
All right, can I answer Scott's question?
What?
Why can't SJWs make their own comics and let Marvel give them what they want?
Go ahead. I can answer it too.
Well, I can answer it too. It's because here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this in a brutally honest way. They could do it. The problem is they don't have the money. They don't have the talent to do it. Because based on the fact that they tried to sell us Mockingbird, for Christ's sakes, and oh god, that comic was pretty terrible.
Yep.
There was so many anatomy mistakes, so proportional mistakes. Even the writing was terrible. You know, they could easily go indie and just sell that crap to somebody that gives a shit. But they choose to go to Marvel, hopefully to get a job and hopefully, you know, show that they actually work there. But the sad part was about them is that, like, I'm going to say this right now, I'm going to be brutally honest. The editor, whoever the editor was there, whoever was the editor of Marvel, did a terrible job not looking at their work. Instead of staring at their tits, he should have looked at their freaking work and realized what the hell they were doing at Marvel.
JT, what tits? We've already seen from their
let me go ahead.
that they have a grudge against boobs.
Let me go ahead and put this out. It's not also the fact that they don't have the talent nor the money. It's the fact that if they did put out their own product, their own thing, it won't sell. People won't buy it, and that's why that's why they do this sort of thing. They co-opt another thing just so they can push their garbage through it and hide it over it, and they think that, oh well, we co-opt it now, we can push our agenda, and people will buy it because it's that thing they like. But people will stop buying it because they'll be like, what the fuck is this crazy shit? That's what that's all about.
Yeah,
I just wanted to point out,
excuses.
But I don't want to go into. Well, the thing is, I don't want to get heavy into the whole, let's talk about how fucked up SJW Marvel is. I'm not really getting into that. I'm trying to get into the fact that they're already trying to dredge up things to fight against this guy, which tells me something over there at Marvel is about to change, and they're not happy about it.
Okay, hold on.
Well, there's also the fact that there is one thing I need to get across, is that, and I brought this up before, but moderately competent people afraid of. Actual competent people. They're definitely afraid of those who can actually do better. So they will continually insist and spin that no, things are going fine. And you know what? When I was on the way home, I think I realized something that may have hinted at why DC's embracing of SJW-ness did not last as long as Marvel's has. Because there's one factor in the comic book pyramid that I wasn't taking into account at the time, and I have to slap myself that I didn't. And that is the distributors, because it has been long since rumored and claimed over the years that Diamond has an out to outright purchase DC if they so want to, because of an exclusivity deal that they signed way back in the day, like during the dark age of comics. So I wouldn't be surprised if when DC started going SJW, Diamond stepped in and said, if you do this, we're taking over.
Well, anyway, though, I mean, the thing again is, let's get back on topic here. Y'all keep wanting to talk about SJW Marvel. The thing is, do you believe that this is a marking of the end of an era for Marvel that's has these people basically scared? Do you think this? Let's put it this way: do you think this is the end of Dan Slott's career?
I want to point something out.
Hold on, Doku's been wanting to put something out real quick. So Doku, you go, and then I'll let Ralts go, and then we're gonna move to another topic. So go.
Gotcha. All right. So here's the thing, and I'm going to use Heather Antos as an example. The way she got her job at Marvel, she had already tried to get a job as an editor, but she hadn't edited a comic book before. She started a crowdfunding campaign, created a comic book, edited it, then immediately got a job at Marvel right afterwards. This was under Axel Alonso's leadership. Now that he's gone, they have no one else to save their asses from the crap product they're putting out. And it's not the fact that they want to create comic books
But I'm gonna
It's the
need
fact that
new
Marvel
samples
is
of black lake sludge
popular,
for my work.
and they want a
The samples
platform
must come
to
from
push their
specific
politics and their
patches of the
agendas.
sludge,
They
which wouldn't be
don't want to
difficult,
actually
except the
create
whole
comic
area is
books, which is
swarming with
why a
violent
lot of these
rebels.
people like
I'm
Nick
willing to
Spencer,
pay you
Dan
to collect
Slott,
the samples for me.
Mark Wade, they see an opportunity to push their own personal politics through a platform that they have direct access to, and they completely disregard the characters and the history, which is what pisses off the fan base, which is why they attack the fans. They had an opportunity to do so, and now that's collapsing in on them because the product they're producing is crap, because nobody wants politics force-fed down their throat. Now that Axel Alonso is gone and C.B. Cebulski is in, someone who clearly cares about the industry and the material, not about the politics, is the reason they're dredging up this shit, because they know their careers are on the line, and like you said, they don't have the talent to stand up to other companies like DC. Which is why also you saw Brian Michael Bendis leave, because there's no room for growth at Marvel under these current circumstances, so the talent is going to go elsewhere. They know there's a reckoning coming.
If they don't change, they're about to fail.
This is the end.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I thought. Now, Ralts, you go.
Well, the big thing is they're obviously looking for something, anything to sink him because they don't want him in charge. Like you said earlier, he's not their friend, and he's going to look at the business first and tell them, no, this is crap, we're not doing it. So they're bringing out something that is completely ridiculous. He wrote under a Japanese pen name. Well, so what? Their hero J.K. Rawlings wrote under a pen name for a different series. Stephen King wrote under a different pen name. This is a long time-honored thing. And the reason he did it is because while he was an editor, he couldn't write for the company under his own name. If he does, it's a conflict of interest. If he writes under a different name, meaning everybody underneath him who's doing their jobs looks at it and says, oh, this is just random guy, not my boss, I'll judge it critically. And now they're saying, oh, he stole a Japanese name. Well, no, that's not how names work, and go fuck yourself. They're just grasping at any straws to out this guy because they don't want him to be there to say, no, your idea sucks and get this crap off my fucking desk. Because now he's going to bring back in professionalism. He's going to tell him, no, this, shut the fuck up on. He's one of those people that say, shut the hell up on social media, you're harming your brand. And we'll punish you for what you put on social media, just like the milkshake crew wants anybody on the right, anybody who doesn't follow their progressive politics, punished for what they put online. He's going to apply the same standards to them, and they don't want that.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
because that means now they have to behave, and they've actually got a boss telling them to shut the fuck up, doing the job the way it's supposed to.
They have to produce a good product that people actually want to buy. Something that I don't think people like Heather Antos or Mags Visaggio are capable of doing, because Heather Antos can't even get the name of her own artist right on her book, on the front cover, nonetheless.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. And I mean, that means too, like, he's gonna come in there and he's gonna look at a book like the Squirrel Girl book and be like, no fucking wonder nobody's buying this shit. It looks like somebody fucking fucked the typographical map of Utah.
Nice Deadpool reference.
But,
well,
I mean,
you know the reason that Squirrel Girl's drawn that way, right?
It's because they wanted to
prevent the male gaze.
Yeah, they wanted to fight the male gaze and all that crap.
Exactly.
Is that also the reason why we got Carl Manvers?
Oh, good. Don't remind me of Carl Manvers.
Any day, the next issue should be Squirrel Girl in the search for the missing chromosome.
No, they made her autistic Squirrel Girl. They should just call it autistic, not unbeatable. Autistic Squirrel Girl.
Well, dude, look at Squirrel Girl from the 90s. She was actually cute.
Well, yeah, Squirrel Girl was an attractive character at one point in time. Now she looks like a bag of ass.
She's autistic Squirrel Girl.
I mean, I don't know if this image I'm putting up is from the original Squirrel Girl comic book days, but she was like that back in the day. Like, she was really cute and attractive. You know?
Well, I checked out some of the old school Squirrel Girl stuff, and it used to be like satire. It used to be
Well, and that's what it was. It was supposed to be a joke character, but it wasn't supposed to be what they turned it into, which is not so much a joke, but just
Great Lake Avengers.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But let me just say it this way. You know who remembers how hot Squirrel Girl used to be? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm.
Something else I feel like I need to point out, because I can't remember where I saw this, but I remember somebody was making the argument that supposedly Squirrel Girl, being that kind of autistic, is apparently is inspirational or representing people with autism. And I immediately said, "Get fucked."
Look,
Well,
if
not
you're,
everybody
if you're one of the crew that does loud noises hurt, you have no business being a superhero.
Well, here's the other thing, though, too, is when you look at the Squirrel Girl book, I mean, he's going to look at the, like Sobolski's going to be the guy that's going to come in there and look at this book and go, well, no fucking wonder nobody's buying this shit. You can't even, I can't even fucking look at this thing. I mean,
can't even read this.
I can't fat to this.
Oh, dude, have you seen the
it's a proven fact. I mean, when people read books, when they watch TV, when they look at comic books and play video games, they don't want to look at a fat, sloppy, nasty character. They want to see an attractive character to look at. Even when you see movies where the main character is a fat person or or overweight person, it's still an attractive obese person for the most part.
And it was kind of okay when they brought her in, but they started to make her look like an initial joke. And already, I can understand they wanted to bring like this crazy, autistic version of her.
No,
but she was actually
there's no explanation for this, JT. Don't even try to explain it or come up with a reasoning. There's no explanation.
Okay.
And the book sold like garbage. It sold like trash. It's still trash. And that's what I think is going to be
like new number ones of it.
Well, what's going to happen is obviously if this guy is there to do what they say he's going to do, and he's scaring the pants off these people, you're going to start seeing people over the next few months probably leaving very quickly from Marvel. You're going to be like, Heather Antos is going to put up a fucking post on Twitter, be like, yeah, I decided it was best that I separate from Marvel. And be like, no, bitch, you just left because you got canned.
I will make a bit of a prediction. If you see Antos Slot et al. Start burying Marvel, I called it.
Well, here's the other question is, has Slot been getting quiet lately on social media? Because if that's
Slot
the case, if
Slot has, but Mark Waid has not.
Well, Mark Waid is a fucking moron. He thinks his job is safe no matter what the fuck kind of stupid shit he says.
Oh yeah, he's an idiot.
Mark Waid is a fucking retard. Yeah,
he used to be
Mark
good.
Waid, if you fucking hear this, I'm telling you the fucking truth. You're a fucking idiot, and you need to shut your damn mouth, because you're gonna probably lose your job eventually too because of you talking all that smack.
Actually, you know what? I have to say something really quick. Weaponized Nerd Rage did a video about, I forget who did the interview, but he was talking to Mark Waid, and I thought Weaponized Nerd Rage brought up a very good point. Mark Waid is an individual who has some serious depression and mental issues. So I can understand why he acts the way he does. It's still no excuse, but it gives me a little more insight into the inner workings of the brain of Wade.
I want to throw something out here real quick. I am getting really, really, really tired of people using mental illness to act like an asshole.
Thank you.
I'm not going to make an excuse for it.
Hang on. When people say, why do you act like an asshole? I don't say, oh, I've taken a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. I've this, I've that. I say, because I'm an asshole.
I'm not making an excuse for him. But I'm just saying it gives me insight into why he acts.
I called somebody out for telling an author that she can't use certain words because those are autistic people's words. And I was like, will you shut the fuck up, you fucking sped? Because and then he's like, well, you can't say that to me. I'm autistic. It's like, I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm sick to death of people using autism or depression or
you guys keep talking about
bipolar or whatever and saying, oh, I can act like an asshole No, that doesn't explain why he's an asshole. His depression doesn't explain why he's an asshole. He's an asshole because he's an asshole and he has depression. So he's an asshole who's depressed. He's still
Ralph,
a big
I'm not saying
asshole.
Rawls, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just saying it gives me insight into why he acts the way he does. I'm not going to defend the guy at all, but at least now I understand why he acts the way he does.
No,
And
he
if
acts the way he does because he's an asshole.
Exactly. And I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying now I at least understand a little bit more about the inner workings of the brain of the Wade. It's because he's fucking unhinged and he's a dick.
Yeah.
Like, he's an unhinged dick with nobody that will reel his ass in because Axel Alonso was a shit editor-in-chief and didn't take the time to tell him to shut the fuck up and do his job. Like, it's no excuse for his actions.
Wade at one point was competent.
At one point, but I think maybe in his old age, it's, maybe starting to get to him a little bit. Or maybe he's just always been this way and decided that now he has the freedom to actually act like how he truly is and show his real colors. I don't know. But either way, he's always been a dick.
I'd imagine it's more of he had that back in the day, he had somebody to yank his leash. And because of the shit editors, he doesn't have that.
That's actually probably more likely the most accurate statement. He had someone who could control his frickin' weaponized autism. Either way, it gives me a little bit of insight into the inner workings of his brain and why he acts the way it does. But it sure as shit is no excuse for his actions.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Slott, on the other hand, I'm pretty confident the reason he shut his ass up is because he knows there is a reckoning coming.
And I hope they fire that communist fuckhead who does G.I. Joe and ruined it.
Aubrey Sitterson.
Well, G.I. Joe's a whole nother company. We don't know what's going on with
comic
IDW.
authors, so hey.
I'll bet you all $10 right now Aubrey Sitterson's gonna get canned within the next 3 months.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry I had to step away for a minute.
I guarantee you, Aubrey Sitterson is gonna get canned within the next 3 months.
Oh yeah, that
I would
dude's
bet
done.
money on it.
Sitterson's done when it comes to fucking G.I. Joe. That was another topic I wanted to talk about too, was fucking Sitterson and his canceled comic book. Jesus Christ.
Canceled before it even hit the shelves. Well, the big reason it got canceled. First off, yes, there was the 9/11 comment.
Yeah, the 9/11
but the
thing
bigger
happened.
The bigger problem is he wasn't supposed to talk about his book Scarlet Strike Force, and he still did.
Oh yeah, I mean that's another
He went
big
directly
no-no.
against. Yeah, he went directly against what IDW told him.
Was he under an NDA? I.e., was he under an NDA on the matter, or was it a case where they told him don't fucking talk about it?
We don't know for sure because we don't have any of the details, but essentially,
well, he
in
did
his words to a Bleeding Cool, he did an interview with them, and he said, well, I'm really not supposed to talk about this, but... And so we don't know if there was an NDA or not. Either way, it's probably not going to save his ass. Not after the stunts he's pulled.
No.
And also your book getting canceled before it even hits the shelves. If he doesn't get canned, I will be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's probably going to get canned, but just going to be canned quietly. You'll see him just slowly kind of move away. It'll be over soon. Anyway, we need to move on to our another topic because we've dredged and talked about this plenty of fucking times, but now we got a new one that's coming up, and the gentleman quartering was supposed to be on tonight, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. I might be able to work something out with him tomorrow where we can do a one-on-one on stream, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen yet or not. I'll keep you guys informed if shit happens. But anyway, we need to talk about Magic the Motherfucking Gathering. A game I haven't played in fucking years. I think the last time I played this, they had released a deck set called Ravnica.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to pronounce that, but that was the last time I remember playing the damn thing.
Ravnica, and
I ran a black and blue deck. That's all I remember, and I don't remember the
goblin
rules.
deck because I'm an asshole.
If you were a real asshole, if you want to go peak asshole routes, you probably ran a sliver deck at one point.
Oh God.
No,
Scott,
I just
how
ran.
dare you post bleeding cool articles in my chat?
Block.
One of the biggest proponents of firing Aubrey citizens is a well-known anti-diversity troll campaign. We'll talk about this later. Anyway, anyway, there's a new controversy in Magic the Gathering, ladies and gentlemen. I wish he could be here to tell us his story himself, but I think he'll probably be like, I can't give you a summary. So if you want to get the idea of what's going on, go check out Quartering's channel, Unsleeved Media. He does it on both Unsleeved Media and Quartering. But this dude is straight up being targeted for... He's basically being ousted and being shoved out the door of the Magic community, and even Wizards of the Coast is kind of backing the fuckers up for this shit.
Not to mention there was that one dumbass who tried to claim that you need to be an ally in order to engage in Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
basically saying you need to go to confessional in order to play.
Let me address NIST real quick. From what I've been seeing, it's a shit show on both sides, and this is just the latest of a string of flare-ups in the Magic the Gathering community. Yes, it might be a shit show on both sides, but I can tell you this much. From watching all the stuff I've seen on Quartering, looking at all the evidence that I've seen so far from him, and because the other side isn't exactly fucking showing evidence, big fucking surprise there, I'm honestly on Quartering's side on this. I think he's being fucked over big time right now. Here's the thing. This is what happened. Basically, Magic got its own Zoe Quinn, ladies and gentlemen. Some chick named, what is it, Christine Sparkle or Spankle or Sprangle?
Sparkle.
Is it Sparkle?
Yeah.
Sounds like the name of a fucking fairy cartoon character. What the fuck is that? But anyway, she came out of the blue apparently. Apparently she got dumped or some shit. She came out of the fucking blue and is like claiming that Quartering here is started a harassment campaign and stalked her or some shit. Some crazy shit. Basically, he is apparently the one that has run her out of cosplay. Sprankle, that's her name? Sprankle? Okay. But apparently she's quitting cosplaying of Magic the Gathering characters and all this shit. And he's part of the reason because he ran her out and started this harassment campaign because of some time that he talked about her on a live stream. And the live stream, I saw the clip from the live stream, and basically all he said was, you know, he doesn't really care much for cosplayers, and that's pretty much it. There's a little bit more that was said than that, but I'm just summarizing what I've got.
Summarizing.
She lost a match to him and lied about him sexually harassing her. Okay, I didn't hear about that. But, basically, several Magic YouTubers, Magic the Gathering YouTubers are going against the grain on this guy. Wizards of the Coast is going to basically ban him from, like, tournaments or some shit like that. It's all kinds of fucked up. Long story short, Gamergate has happened to Magic the Gathering for once. Which we all kind of knew that was coming. And basically, she's coming out of the woodwork with all these accusations and all this other shit about him and fucking acting like Zoe Quinn, trying to get attention with her fucking Patreon and all that shit. Like I said, I wish he was here to kind of talk about this, but he can't.
I remember that there was also a lengthy post on Reddit on the matter that tried to claim that he was somebody who had a history of saying edgy shit, was basically a glorified shock jock.
Yeah,
and has been trying so hard to get back into Wizards' good graces. Except basically trying to say that the guy is nothing but a tryhard. Except if that's really the case. If he's really just a shock jock, or just some edgelord, and I'm not saying he is, and I'm not saying he isn't. I pointed this out on Skype earlier today. If that's the case, then why give him this kind of attention?
Well, it's because
if he was just that kind of thing, you could have just ignored him and moved on. But you had to go and stir this shit up, idiots. Don't feed the fucking trolls.
Well, you know, it's exactly what it is. Like, they do it all the time. I mean, oh, we've got to call it out. And this is what I think is going on. And this is from my perspective. Like, I was spent most of the day while I was working on other things. I was listening into one of his podcasts that he was running, or that he had run, and he was discussing what happened and answering questions about it. One of the things that he thinks is he feels that some of these cosplayers, especially these females, are kind of predatory when it comes to the Magic the Gathering community, because they know that they can come in there and they can talk to, they can get, you know, Patreon subscribers there, and he feels that some people are being preyed, that a lot of these guys are being preyed on by these folks, because they're people that don't really give a shit about Magic the Gathering or give a shit about the game. They're just utilizing it as some form or fashion to make money off of it. Now, I don't know if that's true, but he said multiple times in his stream, though, he has no problem with cosplayers. He doesn't hate cosplayers. He just doesn't like ones that prey on the community, is what he has a problem with. And personally, I don't see how that can be construed as being harassment or being as him being sexist or anything, because that's just his fucking opinion on cosplayers, and that could be anybody. The other issues, though, is like he has been reporting that people are sending him images of his, or not images, but of names of his parents and doxing him and shit and all kinds of things, as well as death threats as well, and that's not being reported on. Polygon and Kotaku wrote absolute hit pieces on this guy, and I'm sitting here going, why is everybody worried about this one dude? Why are you fucking worried about this guy? I don't get it. What is so bad about him that you have to do everything in your power to try to get him ousted out of the community? I'll tell you, it's because if you don't fucking oust him out of the community, if you don't fucking try to, then you guys can't get your little victory and get your little way to be able to gatekeep the rest of the community to start kicking out other fucking people. That's what this is about. This is about gatekeeping on that side of the factor. The other side is this Sprankle chick, or whatever the fuck her name is. From what I can tell, she is fucking straight up preying on the community to get Patreon subscribers. Come the fuck on. She started this fucking controversy bullshit. And what's happening? I guarantee you, if you compare her fucking Patreon to 6 months ago, that it was steadily declining up until this point where she started this bullshit, and I bet you now it's getting fucking Patreon subscribers. Just like fucking Gamergate did with Anita Sarkeesian's dumbass, Zoe Quinn's retarded ass, as well as Brianna Wu's retarded ass. Because they all started living off their fucking Patreons when Gamergate happened. And what happened every time their Patreons started to go down, and at the end and the beginning of the month, it would go right the fuck back up. Because they come out and scream, "Oh my god, Gamergate's harassing me again." And with that, I'm going to shut the fuck up and let you guys talk about this now. So go.
Yeah, it very much comes off as her needing some sort of. Well, I hate to use this line again because I've used it a dozen times, but you know how I've said that they want to make up a dragon so that they can be the triumphant dragon slayer. It just so happened that Quartering is that dragon this time, simply because of the stuff that he said. And you know what? Even if he is, now I don't know too much about him personally. But even if he's said some stuff that's off the wall, you lose the plot when you're trying to no platform and even trying to pull the shit with his parents. You have officially lost the plot and started crossing the line when you go that far.
Absolutely. So your Quartering was at one point one of the bigger, if not biggest, Magic the Gathering YouTube personas. He has recently gone off on WotC for having a diversity agenda, among other things. Well, yeah, everybody knows this. Okay?
Mhm.
Everybody's already seen that Magic the Gathering is going off their stupid diversity agenda to pushing too. They've been swallowing the SJW pill as well as many of the others. They've suffered from the infection like all the other communities have.
Even the Reddit board, Magic TGC is also banning people for disagreeing with the whole situation.
Well, that was the thing. I was listening in on him today, and he was talking about that. And he said that even if you go into that Reddit board and you just say, "Hey, I think that maybe there might be something wrong here, or that maybe this is a little too harsh," if you do not toe the line, they're literally banning everybody. They're they're contacting the company to actually shut him down and tell him that he can't be in any big tournaments or something like that. I guess the company has power over this, and the company's agreeing with it. And that's what's killing me here is, and I wish he was here right now so I could ask this question, and I guarantee you if he does come on tomorrow, if I can get him to at least come on with me tomorrow for a little bit, I'm going to ask this question. Why would you buy anything from this company anymore if they're okay with siding with these assholes? If they're okay with ousting people like this? Wizards of the Coast is giving them the ability to be the gatekeepers of who can and cannot enjoy the hobby. I mean, and this is a game that's been around for a long fucking time. I spent about maybe 20 minutes tonight talking to my local comic shop owner about this, and he's a huge Magic fan, and he was just saying the same shit. He's like, I don't get it. I don't get how the company can side with them and be down with this. And he was saying that it's got to be the fact that they're scared that if they don't side with the feminist side, if they don't side with that group, then they're going to look bad. But what you idiots don't realize at your fucking company is that's not selling your product. Your product does not fly off the shelves because of diversity. Your product flies off the shelf because it's good. And according to what like Quartering was saying recently, Magic has been having a quality control problem where cards are coming in the pack and the boosters all fucked up, and that they're not putting out any good cards or any good shit lately anyway.
I do have to wonder if because what I've been seeing from some of my own sources is that one of the big success stories when it comes to card-based play has been the living card game format that Fantasy Flight Games has been putting out for the last few years, as well with their card games, and also with the fact that FFG has the Star Wars license and has been doing some pretty good stuff with it. So I have to wonder if that's causing some concern. Plus, there's the fact that, well, 5th edition D&D, which is another end of Wizards of the Coast, is that yes, it certainly can appear at its most popular, but it's also at its most social justice-y shit show. And moreover, you're seeing more people just stick with the core stuff with it and not expanding beyond that with any splat. It took them 4 years to put out a splat book that wasn't just another module hybrid bullshit kind of thing, which they tried to do a DLC like thing for it and got called out for it. But I would imagine that there's a lot of people at Wizards of the Coast who are being a bit insecure, and the fact that they're going so far out of their way to try and deplatform him is proof of that. Because as I said, they had this whole thing of how they could react. That was on them. That was their choice. And because of the fact that they decided to go full Kool-Aid, they're seeing the inevitable result when it comes to quality control.
Well, yeah, and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I want to say is, Johnny, we're not going to see a huge, massive surge in Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going to see...
No, that community
we're going to see a massively huge surge. Like, all the Magic players are going to quit Magic, and they're going to start playing My Little Pony, the trading card game.
Hey, what's wrong with
Honestly,
that?
I wouldn't be surprised if I see a bunch of the, especially after that.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen that. My daughter has some of the cards. The game actually looks kind of interesting.
especially after that god awful article by Daniel Formier where he tried that whole thing of it's up to us. His quote was, "It's on us cisgender men to fight against this bigotry." Basically, trying to use people who are non-binary or trans as his own platform. And I'd imagine that Tara did not took that less kindly than I did, which is insane.
All right, what I run into?
All right, we're talking about the Magic the Gathering controversy going on with the quartering, with the guy, the cosplayer trying to claim that he was the reason why she quit cosplaying and all this shit, and that he was harassing her and getting a harassment campaign called on her, and all that shit. You've heard about this story, right?
Yeah, because he was on Faye's channel last night talking about that whole entire thing. Like, nobody put the cosplay bitch trying to scream harassment and all this stuff right there, and the whole community turning on him and shit.
Actually, real quick, before we get too far off topic on the quality control aspect, as an active Magic the Gathering player, I have 3 things to say. First off, over the past couple of months, I've bought 6 pre-release packs. Fucking pre-release packs. And I've had at least 12 cards where the text has been emboldened, not of the standard size, so that speaks to something. 2 of the best cards I've gotten out of these pre-release packs have had creases in the back, so if the guy I was playing against was enough of a jackass, I could have been disqualified and not gotten those wins, because Magic does give you your own specific little pin number. So those cards could be considered marked. So there's that aspect to it. And then the third aspect out of everything, they've had to ban 4 or 5 cards from standard play simply because they're broken and they're just absolutely ridiculously overpowered. Wizards of the Coast has really fallen downhill when it comes to quality control. And there's no way in hell I'm attending the next pre-release event and I'm not doing any more tournaments, because I can go over to my friend's house, drink beer, and play Magic just with them. Because Wizards of the Coast can go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned.
Alright.
I was about to say, Ralts wants to say something. So, Ralts, what do you got?
I got a couple things to throw on. First, on the quality control, that started downhill when Die 20 Future came out in 2006, when they gave it to us beta readers, and we noticed that there were problems in the text, including pictures being mislabeled. We let it know, and the woman in charge of it going to print told us to shut the fuck up. That our job was to let everybody know it was coming out and show them talk about how great it was, not actually beta do it. But what we're seeing with Magic the Gathering is the same thing we saw with video games, and before that, the same thing we saw with tabletop gaming. Now, what happens is you get into this stuff in high school. Usually because it lets you make a group of friends, you're kind of outcast anyway. Now, I was extremely lucky. I was a letterman, and I played D&D, and nobody gave me much shit for it. But there was a lot of people who got bullied. Now, these people get bullied all through high school, so they make their own space with its own rules. You know, to use their own term, they make a safe space. It has its own rules, it has its own culture, it has its own social ethics and guidelines. Now, all of a sudden, after high school, these people are looking for a way to get back in where they can feel the same way they did in high school, where they're the big man, where they're the popular girl, because, frankly, it's past high school and motherfucker get a job. So they come in, or worse yet, they see it on TV, like Big Bang Theory, Stranger Things, whatever, because Hollywood uses it as a character definition, not as something somebody does, not as a hobby. D&D, Magic the Gathering, computer games define who you are to Hollywood, and they define who you are in the TV show. You're not a geek because you play. You are a geek because you play D&D, not you play D&D and are a geek. Or there is no you play D&D because you enjoy it, because you're a geek and you have no friends. So what happens is they hit adulthood and they force their way into these spaces because, number one, they can't stand the idea of somebody having a culture that they're not invited to. And this really burns SJW's asses. Somebody's having a culture where they're having bad, wrong fun and wrong thing. So they come in, they push their way in, and the first thing they say is, once they get enough numbers and once they get well enough established, like this cosplayer girl who is a gaming convention 8 and a real life 4, she got a big name. She started getting money. People were paying attention to her. People were giving her everything she wanted. And then she was like, I don't like the way the rules are. And all her friends who want to change the community to be more inclusive, despite the fact there's black people, Mexicans, Asians, Cherokee, slopes, whatever, playing in the game, everybody's there. But no, it's not good enough because it doesn't meet their definition of inclusion, which is apparently more white women. So they wait for one event to happen, one particular event, and then they blow. Usually it centers around somebody's favorite person. Zoe Quinn for video games. Tabletop didn't have it yet. But that one girl tried. She tried. She put out a big list that apparently if she walks by a convention, she gets molested. Now you've got this cosplayer Magic the Gathering, and they're attacking these geeks. And the thing is a lot of people who play Magic the Gathering were bullied relentlessly in high school, and are bullied relentlessly by other people. Period.
Well, that and remember that old chestnut accusation that Magic the Gathering was somehow fueling Satanists.
Well, that's been around for fucking years.
That's been around for rock and roll. So now they've got their banner, they've got their living banner, this cosplayer chick who, frankly, do something about your tits, lady. And because they're not that good. So they can rally around her screaming the age-old thing of sexism, racism, misogyny, diversity, toxic space, whatever. And they can force the community to abide by their rules, which gives them power over these people who have been grown up being bullied. Now they get to go back to being high school bullies and ruling and being the popular mean girl. Worse yet is the ones you get. You get these fat girls, you get these ugly girls from high school, and they force their way into it, and they want everybody to act like they're fucking Gal Gadot, and they want, holy shit, there is nothing worse in the gaming community for fucking sexual harassment than a fat girl with green hair and pimples. She will grope everyone.
Yep.
And then she'll say you groped her.
Yeah. And
it happened to me once. It could happen to
I didn't grope you. My nuts are covered with bacon grease. I wonder how that happened there, Hamby.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was groped before in the gaming world.
So have I.
Okay? I was groped.
So am I.
I was a teenager. I was at a convention. I can't remember the name of it. It was like Consortium or something like that. I was at a convention. I just got done playing a 40K tournament. I get in this elevator, and this really, sexy, hot fucking French maid dressed, it was a gothic French maid chick, right? Gets in there, and I'm going, so, what game you playing? She says, oh, we're playing Call of Cthulhu. If you want to check it out, come to this room. I went to that room, and I walked into a BDSM mess, and I'm going, I think I'm in the wrong room. But I stayed anyway.
And I'll admit, I'm going to be honest.
They kind of wanted me to leave as soon as they found out I was a teenager.
Have I seen instances of sexual harassment? Yes. But I stood up for them. My wife stood up for them at Evergreen Con. I don't even know if they still do that. They used to. Evergreen University in Washington, which you've seen in the papers, used to have a gaming convention.
Well, no, if gaming's problematic, we can't do that at Evergreen.
And somebody came up to my wife and said, hey, this guy is following me around and he's trying to fucking get me alone and everything. And I can't go get a soda. And, everybody, all the other guys, because a lot of guys in the gaming community are very submissive and very non-confrontational because they got beat up a lot in high school. I've been out of the Army for a year, so you can imagine that I wasn't too non-confrontational, and I went with her to get a soda, and sure as shit, the guy started harassing her. So I bounced him off the fucking soda machine. Go away, leave the girl alone. And go wipe up this blood, that looks bad. But then at the same time, I've seen good-looking guys come up next to my wife and me and say, hey, you know, you're signing books. I want to walk around. Can your wife walk with me? I was like, why? He goes, because those 3 girls over there keep groping my fucking ass.
I mean, and that shit happens though, and it's look, I'm gonna say it like this: women can be some of the worst motherfuckers than men.
They know they can get
like
away
they
with
can be worse than men in many ways.
I had a woman try to stick her finger up my ass while I was at work and asked me if I liked that. It's like, no.
No, I'm not into that. Sorry.
That wasn't when I was working at the bar. That was when I was working at Circuit City.
Like, dang.
Well, good lord. But then the other thing though is like what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, I had situations like that too. There was this one woman. She was kind of, I'm gonna be honest with you, she was kind of slow, and I mean that for real. She really was slow, and she used to grab my ass every chance she got at this store. And when I worked at it was actually when I worked at a McDonald's. And she used to grab my ass any chance she got, and I remember reporting it to the manager, and the manager actually took it fucking seriously and was like, "Yeah, if you don't fucking stop, you're gonna be fired." You know. She eventually stopped.
That's another thing, right there. Now these people are saying, "Oh, nobody stops this harassment in the Magic the Gathering community." Yeah, they do. It's just you're not willing to acknowledge it. If you take this shit to the people running the con and say, hey, this girl's following me and fucking groping me. Hey, this guy's following me and groping me. I've had a problem with gay guys groping me. I'm not even that good looking. And, matter of fact, I'm downright ugly. And I mean, motherfuckers grope me. I go to a con guy. I'm like, hey, this guy will not leave me alone. I've told him I'm not interested. I'm not into that. And he keeps following me around, making comments, putting his hand on my thigh. And they eject him. He's gone.
Are you sure that guy wasn't Adam Sandler? He's got a habit of doing that.
It might have been. But it might have been Adam Sandler in a very ugly, greasy, fat, gay guy disguise.
Well, you never know. I mean, he is one of those. He's a little bit on the crazy side.
I think he wanted to put you on the casting couch for his next sitcom.
Yeah. Now the funny thing is this shit used to be handled internally with. They used to be pariah. They used to be outcast. It went around that, hey, don't invite this guy to your games. He's a fucking dick. He's an asshole. And then they came in with, we need to be more inclusive. And they made it so no matter how shitty these people were, you couldn't eject them from the group. You know, you'd be like, look, man, we don't like Tom. Tom stares at our fucking kids when we're gaming. When he comes over to our house to play D&D, he leaves all his fucking soda cans and chip bags all over the place.
Basically that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. But no, what do we hear? Well, you have to include Tom, otherwise we're not being inclusive. Fuck inclusive. Tom's an ass.
Inclusive.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I'm tired of Tom.
Look, we don't want him in our group. If one of the other people want him in their group, fine.
But they literally say, no, you need to be inclusive to Tom, and because we're a non-confrontational group. We don't believe in confrontation. Right there, as soon as you hear we don't believe in confrontation, you know it's going downhill because the people who push for no confrontation are the people who don't want confrontation because they'd be one of the first ones confronted. One of the biggest people in one of the large gaming circles I ran in, it was about 30, 40 DMs, one of the biggest people that started pushing this inclusive and non-confrontational attitude in 2007, you don't leave your kids alone with. He was re-included for diversity because he's like, oh, I'm a gay male. No, you're not. You're you fucking stare at children and creeps me out. Well, we have to include him. No, we don't. And I brought it up.
No, we don't.
Go ahead, Pat.
Let me guess. You were probably given a lecture at one point, Ralph, that we need to be more tolerant.
Yes. And I was like, I just came back from Bosnia and bayoneting people. Do I look tolerant to you?
Well,
like,
I mean, but
am I a tolerant man? No.
But anyway, back on the subject here, you know, I guess the question is, like, they're trying to get rid of this one guy, and I do have to give the man props for the fact that he's going, I'm not fucking standing down. I'm not leaving the community. I refuse to fucking leave, and there ain't shit anyone's gonna do or say about it.
Because if they can get rid of him, they've proven their power and they cow everyone else into following the line, or they're worried about being treated like him. And what happens is, unfortunately for them this time, they pick somebody that doesn't care and isn't going to back down.
Well, and that's the other thing. They're sitting there going like, oh, well, he's going to get my channel shut down. And then he's got this attitude because he doesn't rely, I believe he doesn't rely on YouTube as his main
No, he doesn't.
form
He's
of
outright
income.
said, I was busy. I was busy having a real job, something you guys don't have when
Yeah, I think he said he runs
tried to
he
do
has
it.
like 2 jobs or something. Like he owns his own business or some shit like that. And unfortunately, you can't get somebody fired from their own fucking business that they own. It doesn't work that way.
Congratulations, Comrade Cthulhu, on your driver's license.
Comrade Cthulhu got his driver's license. What? What?
Yeah.
All right, Comrade Cthulhu.
Your first step in being a man. Now get a job, motherfucker.
I don't know where it is you live, but you got to call. But if you live anywhere in the area I live, you need to at least send me a DM when I know you're driving, so I know not to go driving at that time.
Here's the picture of one of her cosplays. Tell me what you think of her.
Let me see what we got here. Let me see if she's a pass or smash. Let's go.
Is it that purple picture?
Like that.
No. JT, where's the picture, man?
Hold
check
on.
the Hangout chat.
Oh,
Check
is it the
the
Hangout chat? God damn it, I hate
Oh.
Hangout chat.
All right, man.
Let me see
Here's
her.
two
All right.
pictures of.
Well, she's all right. I mean, she's attractive, but
Give her props on-
let
give her
me put
props
it for
on
the stream so
detail.
everybody can see what she looks like, because I had a picture of quartering on there. So let
She's
me
a
at least-
she's a Convention 8 real life 4. If it's the one that's been shown around.
Yeah, I don't know if this is her. I just know her name is Christine Sprankle or Sparkle or something like that.
And I'm sorry, that sounds like a porn name. The last person I knew was Sprinkles, and she specialized in female squirting and water sports.
I'm gonna admit it does. I will admit, Christine Sprankle or Sparkle. That Christine Sparkle does kind of sound like a porno name. I will.
Yeah, I would have been
Yeah,
like, what is she, a
it
porno?
does.
The funny thing is, there are porn
I got
stars who do
several.
better cosplay
I
than
got
she
several
does.
links. I got several links here.
And
Of course you
Sparkle
do.
is a stripper name. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
well, it's fine. I'm fine with having this image here. That's fine. We can stick with this image that we have now. But back to the meat and potatoes of this argument, you know. Yeah, in this situation, they're messing with a guy that. Yeah, can you get him banned from the big the conventions? Sure. Can you get him banned from these big tournaments? Yeah, I guess you can. But at the same time, it's like you can try to get his channel shut down, but how are you going to do that? Mass flag him? Especially when there is no evidence of him harassing, him sending threats towards anybody. You know,
If they
as far as I can
mass
tell,
flag, he'd have a case of doing a countersuit.
well, and yeah, I've heard that the other two, and he's even said that in his last stream that I watched was that he said, "Hey, I am looking into it with a lawyer. It's just it may be more effective for me to just let it fucking go and just send them an email saying, "Hey, this is fucked up. It's all full of lies, whatever. Here's the reality." You know, he's saying that it may be better to just let live and let die when it comes to, like, say, with what Polygon and Kotaku wrote about him, because proving slander and libel is very difficult in our judicial system. But at the same time, if he wants to pursue that path, he could. He said he has been in contact with lawyers. It's just
Find another
seeing that
picture,
it might be
because that
better.
one's blah. That one could be any fucking female cosplayer who decided she likes that particular card.
Yeah. Yeah, but it says Christina Sprinkle.
Is it Sprinkle, Sparkle, or Sprinkle? What is this fucking name? Because I keep confusing
Sprankle.
it.
Christina Sprankle. That's what
Christina
that's
Sprinkle.
her-
Okay.
Yeah, Christina Sprinkle. You just look her up. Yeah, Sprankle as in SPRA. Yeah.
You tell me that's some
Okay.
made up shit.
Christine Sprankle. I'm guessing. Okay, I guess this is her right here. I will put it in the chat.
Yeah, there's like several. Yeah, I can see the image right now.
Okay, okay, that's not a bad image here. I'll show this one to the chat. That's a good image of her.
Yeah,
Gives you a
that's
good
another
idea of what
image.
she looks like. That's a
Yeah.
lot better, because, yeah, you're right, Ralts. That picture we're showing right now, that could be almost, the way that she's dressed there could be almost any woman.
Yeah.
This one shows a little more unique style
kind
to
of
it.
like that at the local convention.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've seen a lot of that. I'm not gonna lie. From what I see as this picture of her, she's, of course, yeah, she's attractive, but she does some good work with her cosplay, I guess.
Yeah.
I respect cosplayers that really put the effort into it, and I like looking at the costumes. I've seen some amazing Iron Man. We got a guy around here lives out in Ashland's got an Iron Man suit that I'm surprised he doesn't fly to the con.
Well, like I met well, like when I last went to AwesomeCon, I met a lot of different cosplayers, and actually, let me see if I can find the picture, and I'll show you guys on the stream the picture. But I met this couple that cosplays at like every single fucking AwesomeCon as Joker and Harley Quinn, and they seriously look like they just walked right off the fucking page of the comic book.
Yeah.
That's how fucking
Damn, that
legit
good.
they look.
We got a fat guy cosplays at comic conventions as the Blob.
Oh, that's
great. Pretty funny. Well, like I saw, like we had guys that
But he's he's 6'10" and must weigh like 400 pounds, so it really works because he's just a mammoth.
Oh yeah, I mean that's great when they do that. And I've seen that shit before too. Let me see if I can find this picture and I'll show the chat, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. You'd be surprised what you find on the internet when you look up a cosplayer or two.
It's gonna come up sideways for some weird ass reason, but that is the picture of the couple. Actually, I'm sure I can transform it and make it move.
Use your computer
rotate
skills.
90 degrees. There we go.
Amazing.
That is
Amazing.
them, actually. That is the two. You'll see it in the stream in just a minute. That is the two that I met.
Nurgle is secretly your dad.
Papa Nurgle loves you all. But that's the two cosplayers I met at AwesomeCon that were Joker and Harley, and they looked absolutely amazing. As that. So,
Damn,
yeah,
they look good.
I greatly appreciate some cosplayers that put a lot of work in it and that look really good at what they do.
Well, that's like the dude I talk about with Iron Man. He'll open up his chest plate, and you can see all the fucking servos and shit in it.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, like he's even got the Jarvis voice.
That's dedication.
He lets little kids look through his fucking look through his visor, so they can see all the fucking neat electronic shit.
Well, I knew a cat who, and I watched him. It took him about a year to do it, but he built himself a Master Chief suit. And he had a battle rifle replica that had a working counter on it when you pulled the trigger. And the thing is that the guy was like 7'5" or something like that, and he was built. So he fit the build properly.
Yeah, this guy also kind of looks like what's his name that plays it too.
And well, I'll show one more for the chat since they're looking at this. Of not these couple, but I'll also show you all the other cosplayer that I met there that was Harley Quinn, and she did a very good job too as Harley Quinn. And that's how I ran into this couple too. And this chick here was also Harley Quinn, so if you guys want to see this cosplayer, she did a pretty good job as Harley as well. She was more like the Suicide Squad Harley almost. But anyway, back on the subject though. I mean, this cosplayer is doing what she's doing. I personally think she's just out to try to get herself relevant again. I have a feeling that there might be a whole lot of what's the word? A whole lot of her losing a lot of steam over the past few months, and then she just used this as a method to propel back into the limelight. You know, if you know what I mean. And I'll put that picture back up of her in a minute for you folks out there so you can see who we're actually talking about again. But yeah. So, I mean, Pat, you just got here. What do you think about all this?
I don't know. When I'm saying about the whole entire thing, it's like how you said, it's like she knows she was losing relevancy and shit like that. So in order to get it back, she's playing like this little victim right now, and it's like, what's gonna happen after she lose relevance right there? What, she gonna show her ass? But it's like, what old boy right there, he just basically, called it as it is, and now you got this whole community trying to out him and shit like that over this fucking female trying to virtue signal and white knight and shit like that, and it's pretty fucked up.
Your hero may complete in Neverwinter.
Yeah, it just keeps on going.
Well, we've got Notchgate now.
What? Oh, I saw that. Apparently, Notch said it's okay to be white.
Yeah, he tweeted it's okay to be white and people's heads are exploding.
Of course
Well,
they are. But every time Notch says something, heads explode. I don't even give a shit.
Well, there's that. There's also the fact that apparently William Shatner has now discovered Brianna Wu.
Oh God, yes, that was hilarious.
No, really?
Yes,
Seriously? That is amazing.
Yeah, he retweeted it like twice when I when I posted the link to the video of her fucking campaign ad. He was like, "Is this brain damage or serious?"
Yeah, he was completely confused. Like,
Also, Polygon has continued their little crusade. They are back on their Japanese hate boner with Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, I heard about that
is
too.
back.
I heard about that one too. That's pretty funny.
Also, reset the fucking clock. This time, Vice is getting rid of people over harassment.
Good God!
Well,
It
I
just
can
keeps getting.
tell you- I can tell you-
CNN and BuzzFeed.
And I can tell you this right now. Brianna Wu was the one responsible for killing old Dirk McGirt of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Is she also
Behind
the
an
one who shot
Arby's.
JR?
Probably.
I'm still laughing at that advertisement for her campaign ad that you guys sent me. I'm just like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I'm still laughing at that Moonrock shit.
Oh, it gets worse if you see the campaign ad. Trust me.
Brianna
It gets
Wu is
far
worse.
worse. All right, folks in the chat, this is the cosplayer that we were talking about earlier. This is Christine Sprankle. It's a fucking stupid ass name. Go with Sparkle. I know it sounds like a porn name, but fuck, Sparkle's a lot better. Sounds better than Sprankle. What kind of name is Sprankle? What are you? Fucking Southern? My name's Christine Sprankle.
That's what I said. She's trying to put that special sprinkle on it.
Hi, I'm Christine Sprankle.
You know, I got a better. Christina Marshmallows.
It ain't sprinkle, it's sprinkle.
Marshmallows. Christine
Sprinkle
Christina
some respect on that s'mores.
You're gonna make me pull out my my southern accent, ain't you? You're gonna make me pull it on out, huh? You can make me just go ahead and talk about Christine Sprankle.
Christina
You just
Sprankle.
sprinkle out that
Oh my
accent.
God, she got harassed. Oh my God.
Christine
Just go
Sprankle
ahead.
got harassed in the Magic Gathering community, and now she's not gonna be
Yeah, we're gonna
cosplaying no
hang.
more.
We're gonna hang that man. We're gonna hang him good.
So
Mhm.
now the quarter in here, he is under fire here, and they trying to get him ousted out the community. You know what I mean? So
There's some woman who took her happy ass back out of the kitchen. Now, boys, I've been telling you all week, put a chain on that ankle so they can't get away.
You just gotta sprinkle out some of that. You gotta sprinkle out some of that harassment on that allegation.
I'm gonna tell you something here about this corner guy. He ain't gonna stand down. He ain't gonna take this shit. He gonna keep on fighting and keep on moving on.
Let me tell you about that cash play.
I saw this thing they called a cash play. I thought it was a little crazy, and then I found out that there was porno of it, and I really liked the porno.
You know,
it was called My Little Pony.
I like to cash play as them pork and beans. Just sprinkle a little bit of seasoning on that.
Oh God, what have we done?
Okay, I gotta stop now. What the fuck? This stream has devolved into something that is... I don't even know what.
F5.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna get an email from Christine Sprankle and her crew like, "You sexist southern bastards, you."
Damn it, it's Sprankle. It's Sprankle.
Sprankle. Let me sprinkle a little bit on, and just sprinkle a little bit of that salt on there, you know.
Let me just
She's probably
sprinkle a
from
little bit
Alabama.
of magic on that, Catherine.
Here in the Twitter salt mines, we like to sprinkle it all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
Here in the mines of Muria, we like to just sprinkle a little bit of that cosplay on that Magog.
Give me a better rock. Alright.
We're having too much fun with this.
Hey, it's not my fault she chose a name that we could easily mock by using a southern accent. I mean, I don't mean any actual disrespect here, but damn. I just can't help it.
Christina Sprankle likes to
That's how she spelled
cosplay.
her name.
Christina Sprankle likes to cosplay as that Gollum from the Lord of the Rings.
Well, you let me tell you something here. You get there on that computer there, you just type in them there www during that sprinkle there, and you get them naked pictures there, and you get them all over the place, man. You get them fapping, and it'll be all great.
Yeah, you know I'm telling about. You know,
I'm looking up her.
Just let me tell you about
I'm
that.
looking at her luge right now.
Let me just tell you about that
Check out them
Christina
ludes.
Sprankle right there, man. You know, just talking
she
about
got them ludes.
that like thing there.
Let me see if I can pull up her
Patreon, you know
Patreon. Let me see if I can pull up her Patreon so I can see. Like, is that what she does? Is lewds too?
I realized I lived in Texas too long when I could understand everything that Boomhauer was saying.
That's you know what, and you know what's
Me
sad?
too.
I grew up in Texas, and even I couldn't understand everything he was saying.
I can understand.
Well, you know,
let me
go ahead
Okay,
and
I found her. I found her Patreon.
Oh no.
She has. Okay, so now I'm not attacking her Patreon. I'm just looking at it to see exactly what the deal is with this woman and who the fuck she is. First of all, she has a really cool cosplay of a. It looks like, I guess it's a magic character, but she looks like fucking Poison Ivy with one eye. It looks kind of badass. But let's see
Lisa?
here. Yeah, here. I'll share it with everybody so they can see what we're looking at here. Check the chat there, and you guys just check the chat and the hangout, and you'll just check in the chat and the hangout there. You'll be able to look at that there, Christine Sprankle.
Just check that real
Yeah,
chat
you gotta
right
look
there
at
real
her.
quick,
You gotta
you know.
look at her Patreon rewards.
Click it there
They're
on that
funny.
link. Now she got a really cool cosplay here of Prince Toadstool.
Are there any boobies?
There ain't no boobies here. I don't see no boobies.
It looks like a
well, okay. Well, there's I mean, she has pictures obviously locked behind a paywall, so you obviously have to be a patron to unlock and look at whatever pictures she has on here. But my point, let me look here at what we have here. Okay, she right now, she sits at like 344 patrons. I don't think that's a lot.
No,
for
it's
most
not.
patrons that I've seen. I want to say, Johnny Mac probably has more patrons than her now.
Well, okay, let's figure out how much is she averaging for a patron.
Yeah, that's what we got to see. I don't think it lists. I don't think it's listing it.
Hold on, let me look up Amaranth.
73% complete. $1 pledge or more per month. I'm not seeing it. Like, I don't think she's listing. I mean, how much she's making for Patreon.
So I mean, even if we're saying she's only making $300 a month.
I mean, well, yeah, that's possible. She could be making like $344 a month. But I would imagine that people are donating more than $1 fucking to her page.
Right, but
I'm thinking
I'm
more
saying,
than that.
lowest amount that we can assume.
Yeah, I guess lowest amount you can assume is $1. I would say between $1 to $5 probably per Patreon. But I'm sure there's others though. There's people that are donating that are giving like 30 to 50, maybe 100 even. You know,
that's some desperate.
I mean, well, it's not so much not just desperate. It's just there's people that are just into that sort of thing. They really probably like her work too.
Real
They
quick,
want that
the character that she's cosplaying in that picture, I think, is Avassian from Shadows over Innistrad, where Avassian kind of goes batshit nuts.
Now I'm gonna look up. Now let me look up the Pop Culture Detective Agency. All right.
Just gonna look up that detective agency right there, real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up here. Now, oh my God, I was right. Johnny Mac grew up, by the way. Okay, so she has... Now, she doesn't list how much money she's making, but she lists that she's got 344 patrons. Johnny Mac is at 890, making 2,457 per video.
Fuck.
He's making pretty... I mean, I would honestly say that's actually... If he's making 2,000 per month off of his Patreon, that's actually not bad.
That's pretty good.
Johnny Mac the Macintosh is doing pretty good. So, and now that's kind of... That actually kind of sad, honestly. He's making more money than her. But, you know, he's creating, I guess, video content that people enjoy and like to laugh at.
Another... Let's compare her to another cosplayer.
What is it, Amaranth?
Yeah.
Well, Amaranth streams. I don't know if this chick does that.
I doubt it.
I'm
that
not
would
sure.
require work.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
what's that one chick that does cosplay who's essentially a booby streamer?
What, Tara Babcock?
No.
No.
Compare this chick to
Amaranth.
No, Ifrit Aron? Is that her? I think that's her.
Ifrit, the one that shows her ass all the fucking time. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
She has a
She no longer
YouTube channel where
streams.
she like twerks in it and shit.
Yeah, see how she compares to her.
Ifrit, what is it? Ifrit Aeon, you said?
Aron?
Aeon.
Is that it?
I think
don't
I
remember.
found it already. Ifrit Aeon is creating videos. See, though, I don't think she creates videos. And, well, Ifrit's only got 49 Patreons, but she's not even listing the money factor either. But,
She no
like,
longer
her
do that
videos, she's more of, like, a lewd streamer, you know? She's kind of, like, when you watch her stuff, like, I don't even think she's doing porn or anything. She just shows off her ass from what I've seen
showing
in
the ass
videos.
Yeah, that's basically all
I don't
she
know
does.
what else she does.
She's a booty streamer.
But
she's a booty streamer, and she occasionally does like paintings.
But she does do cosplay. I do know that.
I'm
Like,
back.
I follow her on Twitter because she does do and she does cosplay.
Okay, I just got back.
Bad.
Now we need to look at like what's another professional cosplayer in the same vein as Nikki Moxie.
Okay, yeah. that's a
Doesn't
good
she
one.
do that shit too?
Basically, yeah.
Nikki Moxie's Patreon. I don't know if she does a Patreon though. Honestly, she might not, considering her fucking boyfriend is. I don't think she does.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to cosplayers, to be honest. I just don't. I don't give a damn.
Well, the thing is I don't really know very many of these cosplayers that do Patreons that have a lot of money. Well, I guess, well, like Tara Babcock, she's not. Oh, I know, Rachel Moore.
I don't
sure
even know
you
who that
guys
is.
heard of her, right?
She's another. She used to work for.
I know
for a
she
video
did a
game
Maxim
magazine.
spread. I remember that.
Wait,
Rachel
wasn't she
Moore.
on-
Well, Rachel Moore only has 102 patrons.
Wasn't she on that sci-fi channel about cosplaying and shit?
She might have
Oh
been.
god, that disaster.
Oh yeah, I
haven't
only saw
watched
like
that
10
shit.
minutes of it, and I was
But
like, nope,
I don't
done.
know. Does Anita have a Patreon? Well, yeah, I think Feminist Frequency does have a Patreon.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
If I'm not
I'm
mistaken,
pretty
they
sure.
do. And I'm curious. I'm actually curious now to see how it is doing.
Let me look up stuff.
TVing on
I can't
Feminist
remember
Frequency
what-
TVing on. Let's see here. Oh no, that's T-Bing. No, that's somebody else. I don't know who that is.
T-Bing.
Luton on Patreon, feminism. I don't see one. Feminist Frequency almost maybe quit Patreon. I see that
One can only
but
hope.
I don't actually see a Feminist Frequency. Let me go to their YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel would probably have a link for it.
Yeah, they got something.
I know she does something. She does some type of crowdfunding still, I think. Because
She did a Kickstarter.
was it?
Yep, I remember she used that.
Yeah, I
for
remember the
Feminist Frequency.
Kickstarter.
Alright, let's see what
And
we
did
got.
she even make any videos from that Kickstarter? Because I don't think she did do
She
anything
did.
for positive
She
female.
did, but she didn't bother to do the DVD.
It would appear that she has an or it appear that they have an Instagram, a Twitter, a website, a Facebook, a Tumblr, and a Google Plus. So they don't have a Patreon, but she could probably donate through the website or something like that.
She probably abandoned that because that'd mean that her earnings on it could be
I need
tracked.
you guys to keep talking. I'll be right back.
And I distinctly I can't remember what the name of the site is, but I distinctly recall that there was a site that could
here's
track
another
the growth and decline of somebody's Patreon.
All right, here's another one. I'm linking it on the side chat. Stephanie Michelle.
Ooh.
Stephanie Michelle.
Who the hell is
random
that?
cosplayer, probably.
All right, look her up.
A random cosplayer, by the sound of it.
And Stephanie Michelle is a pretty generic name.
Yeah, but look up her Patreon. She's a cosplayer.
Oh,
What's the problem with
isn't she a comic book cosplayer?
Yeah, so she's also an she's known for Ivy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know she was on that Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, she was
specifically for Poison Ivy. I mean, her cosplay's not bad, and she's not bad looking, but again, I just don't give a flying fuck about cosplayers. I don't give a shit.
I understand.
I don't care.
I understand why cosplayers do it. It's not because of they just like to do it as a hobby, not like.
Yes, a lot of them do it as a hobby, but
it's not like I hate cosplayers or anything like that. It's just like I don't understand like the hardcore fan base. Like, how the hell do you get a fucking sci-fi show about cosplay?
Well, sci-fi does
Actually,
You're dealing with the same channel that did The Internet Ruined My Life. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh,
they tried
that train wreck.
A lot of people didn't like Yaya Han for what happened to that show because they basically were like they were pretty pissed off with her.
Well, I mean, I can understand having a show like
that was a whole. That thing was a disaster.
I mean, I can understand
because it
having a
turned
show like Face Off. That made sense. But
it turned into a really a gritty like reality show than a about cosplay. That was the issue that I had with that show.
It was basically like what was that show Big Brother or whatever where they're all in the fucking house?
Yeah, Big Brother.
Yeah, it turned into that shit.
Well, again, you're dealing with a channel that will put anything out there. Plus, there's the fact that reality TV, unfortunately, is still a thing. It's still a thing.
Well, yeah, we still have fucking Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Jesus fuck.
Yeah. They have an audience for that. That's where they have it going still. There are people dumb enough to watch it.
You know, I got to give props to Monica Lee because she actually was trying to be nice, but at the same time, you know, she kind of got herself into a lot of shit in that show.
But I digress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, folks.
the whole thing when it comes to you know what? Fuck it. If she's gonna be too lazy to be an adult, I'm going to be lazy enough to get her name consistently wrong. She is gonna be Little Miss Sparkle until I say otherwise. Well, she wants to be a special fucking snowflake. I may as well just call her by a snowflake name.
Yeah.
So therefore,
Little Miss Sparkle. Okay.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say what I said earlier. I don't think that this chick gives a damn about harassment or anything like that, because if she's gonna run around and cosplay and try to flaunt sexuality and shit like that, she knows exactly what the hell she's doing. The only reason she did any of this is because she was losing relevancy, she was losing steam, she was losing popularity, and she had one good scapegoat to go after who, how much does Quartering's other channel, I'm not going to say it because whatever.
Well, I mean, we'll go ahead and talk about it. And
She's got over 100,000 subs, so of course she's gonna go with the low-hanging fruit and be like, "Oh, I was harassed because somebody criticized me for being a fucking booby streamer in the cosplay world." Because she was losing steam, so she needed a way to fucking build back up relevancy and get herself on the front page of frickin' Kotaku or Bleeding Cool or Paragon.
Well, his channel, The Quarter Ring, has 24,000 subs. I don't know if that's risen. From what I understand, it has risen since the he's gained a lot of subs.
And his main channel
because of
has
this
over
shit.
100K.
Yeah, his main channel is hit pretty high. Like, he was saying, you know, in his last stream, he's at 143,000 there, and he said during the stream, he was like, you know, we're almost 1,000 viewers here in this stream. He's like, he's never had streams where he's gotten that many people to come in and watch him on a stream, and I can understand that. But I mean, the thing that we're looking at here, though, is like you said, she's obviously having issues with remaining relevant. And here comes this guy who is obviously doing far better than her, and so she thinks that she can put sick the community on him, take him down, and he's not going to back down for the simple fact that you're not hurting him. I mean, he still has his channels no matter what. He doesn't do anything on his channels that would be remotely considered harassment in either channel he does.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. He's. I don't even know if he has a Patreon or not.
And you know what?
He did a video.
I'm willing to bet you money that she doesn't care if he gets taken down or not. The only reason she did it was to make herself relevant. She really does not give a shit about him one way or the other.
He only has 93 patrons.
She just did it to try to maintain some relevancy and get herself back into the limelight because, yeah, you're a cosplayer. You might make a splash at first, but how long are people really gonna give a damn?
She's like an old aging model trying to fight for attention.
Well,
I've seen this so many times that I'm not surprised anymore. It's gonna end the same way as everyone else. It's just for attention seeking. The people that they're targeting is gonna get way more popular, and they're gonna die out.
Well, like when I went to AwesomeCon, you know, we had 3 of these professional cosplayers. They had their own 3 booths with all the signing booths, with the rest of the signing booths, and they never had a line. They hardly had anyone come up to talk to them or to do anything with them or anything. I almost, out of pity, almost went up to at least go get an autograph by one of them because I liked one of the costumes they were wearing. And they were really nice people. Like, I spent a little bit of time talking to them. One of them accidentally, like, damn near knocked me over and felt so horrible for it. She's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to knock you over. I'm like, it's okay, sweetheart. You can pay me back later.
Well, real quick.
She was really nice, though. Like, seriously, she was really fucking cool. But,
real quick, I just want to point this out. If you look at the situation, like, if you take a step back and you think about it, look at this entire situation. Kotaku, Polygon, Bleeding Cool, they all have their hit pieces. Quartering is obviously on the defensive, but he's actually getting subs and he's getting attention from it. This freaking cosplay chick, whatever the hell her name is, because I don't even care to remember it.
We're calling her Little Miss Sparkle from now on.
Yeah, we'll just call her. Well, I'll just call her Little Miss fucking Sparkles. She's getting her attention. She's getting her relevancy. Quartering is getting attacked, but he's getting people that are obviously backing him up. And then you have all the sites like Kotaku, Bleeding Cool, Polygon that are fucking hopping on it because they want the traffic. It's this constant vicious cycle of you can't just fucking review the next goddamn set of Magic that's coming out. You have to focus on this fucking drama and this social relevancy and all this other bullshit because people like the Quartering, which are a threat to things like Kotaku, Bleeding Cool, because they actually do reviews and deck builds, and more people watch them than they fucking do Kotaku. So they have their little enemy. This one chick, oh, you accused me of being predatory. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna use you as my scapegoat because maybe I'm just fucking tired of cosplaying. Like, it's this weird round robin of I hate you, you hate me, you're a threat to me, I'm a threat to you. And
We're a happy
strangely
family.
enough,
I think they should just oil up
the
and fuck
weirdest
already.
the weirdest thing about it though, Kotaku's getting their fucking clicks. This chick is now relevant again. And oh, by the way, everybody else who's a normal human being who is involved in this community is coming to the Quartering's defense. So as much bullshit as it actually is, it's not really hurting anybody in any way, shape, or form until it becomes a legal issue.
Well,
And that's the thing that pisses me off, though. There's a lot of irresponsibility in the sense of this chick claims harassment because she got criticism. Then you get the hardcore SJWs who are like, "Oh, it's harassment," and immediately in their heads, and I'm going to stick by this regardless of what anyone else ever says. Immediately they hear harassment, it's a guy and a girl. A dude criticized a cosplay chick. So they're immediately going to think it's harassment, it must be sexual harassment. And that's where you get all of this random bullshit allegations that cite